There is some type of, well, I'll show you type thing. I think that's KJ's got a little bit of that in him, along with, he wants to be good no matter what people say. But we kind of thrive on that kind of stuff. That's kind of who we are, and we like it that way.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
So Sam Pittman's response was in a question directed at some of the quarterback lists that KJ Jefferson has been on, some of the coaching lists that he's been on. And Arkansas doesn't necessarily need that motivation, but you heard from Sam, they kind of like it. And this upcoming season, they're motivated to win football games, as they were last year. They proved a lot of people wrong. I think they're going to be able to do that again. We had a chance to catch up with him yesterday. A lot that he said, Tommy, as we get rolling on a Recruiting Thursday. What's up?
Hey, well, it should be fun tomorrow. I mean, it's good to listen to Sam and get a few updates on some guys. I know we're going to go through a lot of that, but interesting. You had both head coaches yesterday have press conferences, and we got a lot to unwind and unpack. We got some great folks to talk to here on the show today about all of it. Is the basketball team normally not in the storyline at all, but heard from Musselman yesterday and from Pittman getting ready for practice to begin tomorrow.
Did you watch? I didn't watch a second of Eric's press conference. I'm just going to be blatantly honest.
We've got both of them up at hitthatline.com. I am actually, I got it on my phone finishing up Coach Musselman's, and Coach Pittman's is a little over a half hour. But if you want to watch all of those in full detail, you can watch them at hitthatline.com. So I'm still finishing up Eric Musselman's, I guess, last meeting with the media before they leave out. What would that be, Saturday? Yeah, the 6th. Mm-hmm. So they're heading out of town and heading across the big pond. So
let's start with football first.
Yeah.
This team's going to come out strong either way, and it doesn't really matter if people believe in it or not, kind of like we're saying. And you know what? I kind of like what Sam said at the end of that statement. It's like, we kind of like it when people doubt us. Listen, they doubt your coach. They doubt your players. They doubt you as a fan base. They doubt you as a state. They doubt you in a lot of different reasons, not just your football program, your basketball team, your baseball team. Like, the Arkansas doesn't have the resources to compete. They don't have the resources to win a national championship. And that's why it's so much fun. And that's why you get so much vindication when you shut them up. And that's why this football team is going to shut a lot of national media up this year that doesn't believe in Arkansas. Sure, there are some here and there that have picked Arkansas to be second in the West or high up on the list or win double-digit games. And I hope they accomplish all those goals. They've got to get by Cincinnati. Chuck was very, very adamant yesterday. All these goals, all these aspirations, throw them out the window if you can't win that game one. Cincinnati, Luke Fickell, talking about Arkansas having something to prove. Luke Fickell and company have something to prove. They want to prove that they can walk into an SEC stadium even after losing several guys to the NFL draft and beat a team straight up. Arkansas, by no means, is going to be just clearly the favorite in that game. Yes, I know the lines come out 8, 8.5, whatever it is in Vegas. But if you think you're walking through that game easy, Tommy, you got another thing coming.
No, and I think it's a good game to provide sense of urgency to everybody. I mean, if you're the equipment manager, you better be ready to go for the Cincinnati game. If you're the starting quarterback, you better be ready to go for the Cincinnati game. So I think it doesn't take much to sell your team on the idea. And I know the name game, if you're maybe a little older, I think the younger guys and the guys on this roster clearly get the quality of the opponent in Cincinnati. I think maybe some guys more my age, you're just not used to Cincinnati, and I'm not saying they're a traditional power, but they are as of late. I don't think these young guys have to be sold at all on the quality of their week one opponent. I think these coaches well know that as well. I think more so, and it matters, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters from a ticket and an atmosphere standpoint what the fans think. Fans aren't going to line up; they're going to put a hand down. But I think we all need to understand as fans, they're going to buy a ticket and go. This isn't easy. I think we know that. I think we understand the college football play. Well, that was last year, Well, it's going to be a good test. And more than anything, if you go out there and you win big, you may have some hope of what you can do. You can start out 3-0. Hey, we got a good chance against A&M. But the other side of that coin's just as true. You get beat 2 touchdowns by Cincinnati, and, boy, they'll be calling in here, after the game and on Monday mornings. I don't know if we can win a game, guys. That'll be the sentiment amongst the fans.
It can turn on a dime so fast just by that opening performance, and we're putting a lot on this on the team and as a coaching staff. But I hope, even though, as you just said, Cincinnati doesn't exactly fall into the blue blood, top dog, powerhouse football category. But I hope as a fan base, there's 72,000 plus in that opening game. I'm not expecting a sellout. I don't think you are either. But I would hope that with it being a ranked opponent that's walking in here, which you have not had since 2006 when USC came to town. No, this is not the same hype since when the Trojans were here. But I would hope that every single one of you that has means to go buy a ticket, using your season tickets, whatever it may be. I know they're doing single game stuff right now and a variety of other things. You need to be at that game because it sets the tone for the year, not just of a football team, but the fan base itself. I think that this is going to be a great year. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. And you have an opportunity not only to show this team that you're going to support them, but show every team that is walking in from the jump, Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, Liberty, that it is going to be an extremely difficult task to win inside of Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. We know it is in Baum Walker. We know it is in Bud Walton Arena. That's a given. Those are top 3 venues in their respective sports. Can you get Donald W. top 3? Probably not. You can get top 15, top 10. We've never seen that sucker 80-plus in an actual football game. We saw it with Garth. We've never seen it in an actual football game. Can you do enough as a fan base to make it a living hell for every single opponent, like you get it against Texas last year? Can you make that the standard for Arkansas football this year?
Who's the tougher opponent, Cincinnati or South Carolina? Which is the team that's more difficult to beat? If you had said
Missouri like yesterday, I would say Cincinnati, but you switched it up on me.
I mean, those are your first two. Which one's going to be the harder one to win? If I told you you're going to go 1-1,
I got to go quarterback, Spencer Rattler. And you can make fun of Spencer Rattler all you want. Spencer Rattler put up great stats in Oklahoma. You can say, well, Ty, that's a Big 12. Spencer Rattler is going to be looking to make a statement in Week 2 in their SEC opener, his first ever SEC game as a conference quarterback. So I got to go South Carolina. And Beamer, when we talk about what Pittman's doing in the West, Beamer seems to be gaining a lot of respect in the East. And they were on the same staff, Kirby's staff. So I would go South Carolina.
And maybe we can get into this a little more. I don't think all is lost if you're not 3-0. I think trying to get to 9 or 10, which is the upper range of expectations, is tough if you don't start out 3-0. But I don't think the season's lost if you don't win all 3 of those first 3 in September. I know this. I'm looking forward to the Razorbacks playing. I'm looking forward to just college football being back. And whether you're at the game or you're home watching, you got to have the Hopper system and Dish from World of Wireless. It allows you to record and watch 16 different games back on your DVR. It allows you to be at the game and still keep up and watch live things and recorded items on your TV back from home. And right now you get a free Google doorbell system when you upgrade to Dish right now. So if you've cut the cord, you're ready to come back, Dish welcomes you back with World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH is their number. It's a free weekend coming up, free installation, that free doorbell I talk about, and a 2-year price guarantee. 877-305-DISH for WOW, World of Wireless.
I want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys when we come back in a little. Jerry Jones.
Streaming live from HitThatLine.com.
Hey, this is Hunter Yurtek, Director of Athletics at the University of Arkansas, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Hot temps, hot peppers, hot Cheetos, they're not the only thing that's hot right now. This month, the deal for you at Leaf Guard of Arkansas, it's...
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fenceman team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fenceman. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's Wimbledon Finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait, Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe can get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
71 and see what Crane can do in 22.
The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors has all your fishing gear for summer trips at the lake or river. Check out the fishing kayaks by Old Town and New Canoe. Summer savings up to $300 off select model. Get ready for fall archery season now with a new bow by Hoyt, Matthews, Elite, and Bowtech. Jelco has the largest selection of box blinds for fall hunting. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors during the good old summertime. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Franks to throw. One to go deep. He's got a man wide open at the 35. Complete. That's Burks. Inside the 20. Inside the 10. Burks is going to score. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Razorback football is coming. Catch updates from Sam Pittman, KJ Jefferson, and others right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
So this is not going to surprise you, but the Dallas Cowboys were once again named the most valuable sports franchise in America, worth $7.64 billion. And I want to know from your vantage point, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan or if you hate the gold star, the blue star, whatever.
It's not
gold. Is that a problem? Yeah, it's not gold. Is that a problem?
It is. I take that back. $7.6 billion. It is gold. It may be platinum, titanium, something else.
They've worn like a gold outline on it before, have they not? I think
it was always blue and silver, but I think that's at least the narrative. But I don't think they're running out of money down there. We'll talk about it. I tell you one thing, that if you're trying to watch money, you always kind of want to keep up with what's going on. You know, back in the college days, did you guys do this? You'd figure out who had the best special around town, who had pizza buffet one night, who had taco night one night, and that was your rotation.
Yes,
we did the same thing because you're trying to, cut down on what you were spending. You want the best deal on food. Well, Joe's is the place to go. Today it's taco burgers and their Bang Bang barbecue sandwich. You may cut down on the price, but you're not going to cut down on the quality today at Joe's. And Fajita Fridays tomorrow. I love some fajitas, and they do a great job with them. Chicken and steak fajitas on special on Fridays, and then Saturday they bring back the dollar tacos all day long. Plus they got pork carnita tacos, brisket tacos, and pork belly tacos all on special. And I think the best deal might be the 8-inch beef burrito for $3. So that's what's coming up the next few days at Joe's Grill and Cantina. I can't wait for the games to start back. They always have half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. So check it out at Joe's on South 74th Street across from Harps in the River Valley.
So when you say money, is that a problem? That might sound like a stupid question. Listen, we know Jerry Jones wants to win, and we know he's a beloved Razorback. If you ask people in Dallas, in the sports media, he's always referencing his Hogs. He loves coming back for games. That's a big deal for him, as is his Dallas Cowboys, which have not won since 96. That's right, Super Bowl-wise.
95. Well, it's 95 season, so I guess, your
Super Bowl was in 96. So
right, yeah.
When you think
Barry Switzer was the coach.
Yeah, because him and Jimmy Johnson had that spat or whatever. And listen, you always say, and you're right, he's got the right to manage. His name's on the door. He's the one that put up all his assets for this team and has now turned it to the mecca that it is today. But does anyone believe, Cowboys fans, not Cowboys fans, that the Dallas Cowboys can win a Super Bowl with him directing the football traffic? It's one thing for him to manage the business assets and everything he has, because he's done a fantastic job on that. But what worked for Bob Kraft and Bill Belichick is it sure seemed like, and again, this is the outsider perspective, but Kraft said, Bill, you handle the football side of things, I'll handle the money side of things. And that relationship for a long time, now it's deteriorated a little bit because of the whole Brady fiasco, but for the longest time, that was the best longevity in football, because one guy handled the money, one guy handled the football. Now, Jerry handles both. Now, Steven is also a big part of that as well. Can Dallas win a Super Bowl with Jerry Jones as the head of football operations, the general manager, and the guy that's sitting on cloud nine?
Well, let's be clear in your comparison. The Cowboys haven't had a coach the caliber of Belichick since Jimmy Johnson. So it's one thing to turn your football operations over in totality to a guy like Belichick. It's another thing to do that with Jason Garrett. And that's where the franchise has been. I mean, I hear what you say. They had Parcells in there, and he insisted the famous line of, hey, I want to shop for the groceries. If you're going to ask me to cook, I need to be picking out some of the groceries. And, next to Jimmy, he was probably the next great coach that they had in that franchise. But I think there's, obviously this has been a story we've talked about for 25 years about ego and whatever getting in the way. And we got so many people that love the Cowboys, that listen to us. They were raised on it. That's what their dads loved, and that's what their kids now love. But they seem to get the right talent in place, and then an injury happens, or your quarterback has an ankle problem, or just something occurs, or you're really good on one side of the ball, but you can't stop anybody on defense. So, and the frustrating part, and I'm not even a casual. I used to be a big Cowboys fan in the '90s, but a lot of people were on the bandwagon then. Now I don't really have a team that I pull for. But the frustrating part is you don't play. It's not exactly like you're playing in the best division in the NFL. And I'm a casual
NFC least,
right?
Tommy.
I mean, and this is a division you may win with a win or two fewer than the other ones in the NFC or comparing to the AFC. So that's even harder to stomach right now. Is you may get to the playoffs, but you're so ill-equipped because your division is so lacking compared to everything else.
And the Giants aren't going to be any good this year. The Eagles might have something to say, bringing over A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They got some dudes on the offensive side of the football. Washington football team brought in Carson Wentz. And Rowdy and Lincoln texting, he brings up the fact that, they won 3 with him as the GM, but you had a Hall of Fame coach and 3 Hall of Famers, and Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, and Troy Aikman. Those guys just don't grow on trees anytime soon. I'll say this. The Bill Parcells thing didn't work out because there was a clash, right? And it seemed, at least from the, again, outside looking in, that Dallas can't get the highest caliber of coach because the highest caliber of coach wants to be the big dog. He wants to make the decisions, and there seems to be pushback from Jerry and Steven on those said decisions because they want to be involved and a part of it, which, again, as the owner, they write the checks. That's their right. But that being said, it hasn't worked in the last, what is that now, 96 to 2022?
Well,
do some
25 years.
25 years. It has not worked. And really, they haven't gotten close. They've only had, 2 playoff wins in that time period? So you would think after you had so much success, and again, Hall of Fame coaches don't grow on trees, but you had so much success with that formula, that philosophy, that at some point in time, you just, the ego would step aside if winning is the true goal. JT in Hot Springs doesn't think they can do it anymore. If Jerry is the one making decisions, he is one of the biggest Cowboy fans that listens to our show. And he is adamant that they cannot do it if Jerry Jones is the one making the final football decisions.
Whether he makes them or not, it's important, I believe. This is just my opinion. I ain't got anything to back this up other than just what I think. Jerry Jones isn't Jerry Jones unless he at least has the public persona that he is at every knob, every lever, at every wheel in control of his franchise. And I think the only way he does that is by actually being at every wheel, knob, and lever of the franchise. He is the guy that mortgaged everything down to his underwear to buy the franchise in 88. So, I mean, as you said, he's earned the right, but that's just who he is. It is a big part of his ego. And all of us would trade spots with him in a heartbeat. All of us.
I don't think there's a question behind that. The question, though, that remains, can he do it? Can he be the one that helps him lead back? Can they find a coach? Because I'll tell you what, Mike McCarthy's not that guy. He's not that guy if you're a Cowboys fan that'll lead you back to a Super Bowl. There's a debate out there that Dak's not the quarterback either. A lot of question marks in Dallas. We'll see what they do this year. Richard Davenport when we come back.
Shop local, eat local, be local.
This is former Razorback Kenoy Kennedy, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111, Hablamos Espanol.
You have a job, kids, and a million things to do in no time, and now your car needs to be serviced or fixed or tires? Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Free shuttle service. Pickup delivery service free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier and take better care of your vehicle at the same time. Hi, Kim Bircher. See, the thing is, Jody'sAuto.com does everything. Everyday oil change specials. Tires are price matched, including the warehouse clubs and all the best brands. Any services, brakes, alignments, all the way to engines, and any maintenance. You are trusting your vehicle to a local company in business for 37 years. Voted best of the best time and time again. Honesty and customer service is always our number one goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. JODYS Auto.com.
Save big on fiberglass in-ground pools during Burton Pools and Spa's Inventory Reduction Sale. Hi, Tommy Kraft here for my friends at Burton's. If you've always dreamed and always wanted an in-ground pool in your own backyard, fiberglass is a great way to go. So give your family that pool they've been begging for years and save up to $7,000 right now during the fiberglass in-ground pool sale during the Inventory Reduction Sale at Burton Pools and Spas. Plus, when you sign up right now with Burton's, get a free salt generator, easy maintenance, great way to take care of your pool, or choose 2 ledge loungers that you can enjoy and relax in for many, many years to come. There's 6 different models to choose from with the fiberglass in-ground pools, so hurry while supplies last at Burton Pools and Spas. It's the Inventory Reduction Sale going on right now at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road-ready premium pre-owned vehicles, each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Now, Red Solo Cup is the
Good
best.
morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Adams skipping. Adams gets outside. Watch out. Hits the sideline. The Jet. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Be listening for your chance to qualify for the Hardy 17th Annual Football Trip of a Lifetime. A date with the Titans and Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium November 6th.
Richard Davenport is set to join us earlier this morning, 6:30 on a Recruiting Thursday, coming up in just a bit. Also want to recap more of Sam Pittman, what he had to say yesterday in his press conference, including talking about a certain number of injuries as well.
Practice begins tomorrow. We can't wait to talk about it with you right here on ESPN Arkansas. We're brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. The inventory reduction sale's going on right now. I was driving back from Bentonville late yesterday, and I glanced over there as I was getting ready to pass the 412 exit in Springdale. And I don't know how many, probably 24, it looked like, sitting out there, fiberglass pools that were sitting on the yard, if you will, out there for the public to see. The different models to choose from at Burton. So if you want a fiberglass in-ground pool, there's 6 different models to choose from that you can save up to $7,000 right now during this sale at Burton's. But I was just struck by how many they have, A, in inventory, and B, different shapes, sizes, depths, all those kind of things. So check it out at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale or in Fort Smith. When you choose a fiberglass in-ground pool right now, you can also upgrade with a free salt generator or 2-ledge loungers. It's your choice right now at Burton Pools and Spas. The inventory reduction sale, you don't want to miss it. Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale, and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com.
Let's go down to Camden. Welcome in Charlie. Charlie, you've got some thoughts on Sam Pittman here on a Recruiting Thursday.
Yeah, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Good, man.
I was definitely listening to Sam yesterday. I wanted someone to ask him about the left tackle spot. I guess with Tykees staying on the right side, I guess does that move Luke Jones or the Jones kid to the top of the depth chart there?
Clay seems to be pretty adamant that Luke Jones is going to be your starting left tackle this year. We'll confirm that with him when he joins us at 8:00.
Okay. Cool. That's who I was thinking, just because if they're going to keep Tykees on the right side. So that did concern me a bit yesterday when he talked about Dalton and his injury and the fact that, I know that they pretty much spent the all season trying to get him healthy, but it doesn't look like, he's going to be able to. And I'm hoping I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem, Sam is confident that he's going to be able to stay healthy this year. So, and I'm hoping that Tykees can work out on that right side and, solidify that spot if that were to happen. So that pretty much, I said we return at 4. Well, technically, I guess 3.5 now if Dalton's not himself. He made, Ty, you hit on this a couple of weeks ago. He's more worried about D-line than, receivers. So I was really I was listening to him when he was talking about that. He's a little bit more worried about that. You got all these numbers. You just got to figure out who can go get the quarterback. And so that was good to listen to. And also another thing he wasn't really asked about was linebacker depth. I'm hoping that, we get some answers there too during camp because, this league is so physical, and at any point, Buffer or Drew goes down, who's going to step in there and help us out. So anyways, guys, I truly appreciate it. Y'all have a good morning.
Yeah, Charlie, absolutely. A couple things to touch on there. The injury that you talked about with Dalton. Dalton's got back issues. He's 6'9", 6'10". He's had him for a while. Tykees Crawford is training both the right guard and right tackle, and Sam Pittman does not anticipate Dalton being able to play an entire season with snaps and stuff. And when I say an entire season, I'm not talking about missing like multiple games, but not every snap. That seems to be kind of what he's dealing with. I mean, you think about when you're bending down like he's having to every snap in a 2-point stance, it's hard on the back. I mean, y'all squat. It's not easy. Other thing, D-line. Listen, I've said it all offseason, and I'll say it again. And when your head coach addresses it, and says that's probably the biggest question mark on the team. Now, he did back it up and say I have confidence in him, but when he says between wide receivers and defensive line is the biggest question mark on the team, your ears and there should be a light bulb that goes off in your head. If you figure that out, you're going to have a really salty football team. Even if you don't figure that out, you're still going to have a good one, but if they can get to the quarterback, man, this team's going to be good. What was the other thing he asked?
What Charlie asked?
Yeah.
About linebacker depth is what he was,
You got Crook, Paul behind them, but you have a valid reason to be a little concerned because Drew Sanders and Bump, you don't have that Hayden Henry. Like, you had Hayden and Grant starting, Bump came off the bench. And I say came off the bench, he was in there all the time. But he didn't technically start the initial game. So that's kind of the situation that Arkansas finds itself in this year. Instead of 3 of them, you got 2 of them. And I'm talking about the guys that you're absolutely sure on this year.
Back to defensive line, you talked a lot about just, hey, we got to find a pass rusher, and it doesn't have to be from the edge. It could be an inside guy. As he's talking, all my years of coaching offensive line, we've had to block up a lot of guys on the inside. So that's a point. We always think they have to be speed rushers from the edge. You just need someone that can disrupt. I thought the other interesting thing that came near the top of the press conference was Torian Carter. He's not going to be cleared for practice right away, but he's going to be in camp, going to be in the meeting rooms, and I don't know, maybe it gave you a little more hope that you're going to see him at some point. And there was no timeline given. There was no great detail given, but Ty did address Torian Carter, and maybe I'm looking for the silver lining here, but it certainly didn't sound like a guy that wasn't going to be a part of this season the way they're preparing for the season with him.
I hope that your silver lining is right and my gut feeling is wrong, because he's going to be a big part of that team.
I like the way he spoke about him yesterday. I'll just say that. Just because I was of the conclusion he may not play till November or something of that nature, and that still may end up being the case. But I think it's interesting just when speaking about Torian Carter yesterday, the things and the details he gave about he's going to be in the meeting rooms, he's going to be out in the field, he's just not cleared for contact.
Because Renfro is not cleared just yet. He did mention with both of those, and Renfro's got the ACL. There's a thought out there that Torian tore his, but we haven't gotten a confirmation on that one way or another. And in this situation, before we get to RD, I know there's hip and stuff, but isn't it just better if you come out and say what the injury is so you don't have 100,000 people speculating on what it is? I mean, what is the reason for not just saying, you know what, he's got a PCL? And you tell me, you've been doing this longer. Tell me why, as a head coach, you don't just say, or you tell the player, because you're not supposed to as the head coach because of HIPAA, but you don't just say, I'm going to let Torian address that on social media. I'm going to let him address that. Why do you not do that? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I don't think – what's the advantage from doing it? I mean, you're saying to eliminate the speculation. I don't think that improves or diminishes your football team if there's speculation about one player on your defensive line. Older players, you've got pro careers to consider. You don't want too much out there that can be picked apart somewhere down the line. I think there's 2 or 3 things. Now, if it's game week, I think it's pretty obvious why you don't release certain information.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. We've had a long summer. You've had media days in Atlanta. A few more details wouldn't hurt. But, when you get a player that's got a few years under their belt too, they've got a pro career and a physical resume, a medical chart that you also want to protect as well. And the more you put out there, NFL doesn't miss anything when it comes to the next level.
Yeah, Richard, I'll ask you about that when I just, Tommy, what's the reason? And it's not just a Sam Pittman thing. We see coaches across college football do it. What is the reason and the rationale on not releasing a kid's, I know the HIPAA stuff, but why would you not let the kid tell so there's not 50,000 people asking on social media or asking him what their injury is?
I guess you want your opponents to guess what the injury is. They can't try to take advantage of it once the kid is back on the field. And that's the only thing. I truly don't know. Sam obviously came from Georgia. It's the same ammo, from what I understand, that Kirby Smart uses. So obviously there's reasons for it. Maybe it should be asked. I don't know, but it was obvious that he went down and during the open practice and looked like a knee. Usually, knee is an ACL. Usually, not always. Could be some other things, but usually that's the case. So, but I don't know. I don't have a good answer.
Richard, I thought you bring up Kirby Smart. When I listened to Sam Pittman yesterday, he talked about a lot of what he took in head coaching. He was very quick to attribute credit to Georgia and Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart was asked about Sam at SEC Media Days, and even Brian Kelly just kind of out of the blue was like, Sam's best offensive line coach in college football. That's why Brad Davis is still on my staff. What did you think about Sam Pittman mentioning and giving credit to the Georgia head coach and on so much that he's learned as a head coach now?
No, I mean, a lot of his blueprint is from Kirby Smart, and Kirby Smart learned from, Saban. So, obviously there's a tremendous amount of respect. He was able to see the ins and outs of the program, and Sam's his own guy, but he's going to use what he thinks over the years that he's been as an assistant. I bet he's taken some bits and pieces from just about everybody, but it does seem like that Kirby has a major influence on just his philosophy and his thinking as a head coach. And in talking to other people that know Sam, they agree, and there's definitely similarities. There's, as far as just philosophy, the way they think, the way they conduct their program, it's very similar.
Yeah. Got the news that Dax Courtney's going to medically retire, and that kind of adjust the scholarship numbers. Now, what's Arkansas losing with Dax Courtney not being able to play any longer?
Well, I'll be honest with you, because he had quite a few injuries in high school, and he had ACL surgery on his knee after the first game, or a little bit after the first game of his senior year, and then about a month or so ago, he had another surgery. So I wasn't thinking that he was going to be able to see the field this year, even if he was completely healthy, just because he still had quite a bit of development to go. He's about 6'6", about 220 pounds. But then you obviously throw in the injuries, and he had to medically retire. I don't think that Arkansas was looking at him as somebody that they were going to count on for immediate help. Tyrus Washington, I think obviously his ability to go through spring practice and go through off season, you hear good things about him. He's a freshman from Georgia. I know that they seem to be counting on him. So nothing against Dax. I think they were looking at him as most likely a red shirt anyway. So I don't think, as far as this particular season, that they're losing much. Now, if he was able to stay healthy on down the road, yeah, they were expecting him to help.
And he was asked also about scholar. Was it 83 or 84 they're now at? I think it's 83, he said, in addressing what he might do with those scholarships and using maybe a player in the portal that wouldn't be eligible this year. Is there any preferred walk-ons maybe that stand out to you that you've heard some things about, or where do you think Sam may land those last couple of scholarships for this year?
That is a good question. I don't have a good answer on that. That's as far as the preferred walk-on, maybe getting an offer. They got some good ones coming in, or that are already on campus. Now, I haven't heard anything about any of them just totally standing out. Of course, I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't really done a lot of asking about the preferred walk-ons. I know one guy that they really like, and they like them all. If you're a preferred walk-on, they like you. But Ethan Joseph is a linebacker from Georgia there's a preferred walk-on who had an offer from Air Force that I know that they're pretty excited about when he committed to them. But no one off the top of my head that I would say is a strong candidate based on what I know, which is not much, to be honest with you.
And I think the way Sam answered that yesterday was they might be looking, and he wasn't like definitive about this. And Ty, if I heard this wrong, jump in here, but if there was a transfer portal player that didn't make the deadline that wouldn't be eligible to play this season but would be up in the spring, as he put it, they may look at a guy like that. So that was pretty much how Sam put it yesterday in the press conference. So, they just didn't plan to be in this spot with trying to figure out where to land a scholarship or two. But seemingly there's always, Richard, a walk-on or somebody. And sometimes teams save them. It just seems like there's always a moment where somebody can kind of earn their keep, so to speak.
Yeah, and I like what he said. I mean, as far as a guy that entered the portal at the last second, and and maybe he hasn't been picked up. I could see that being a possibility. Do I know anybody? No, but they're fully aware of who's out there and who's available.
Richard Davenport with us here on the Morning Rush. Richard, we were just talking about it with Charlie. Defensive line seems to be the biggest question mark from the head coach's perspective on this team. He also brought up wide receivers. What would help solidify that in fall camp? Or is there anything that they can do, or is it just go out and play? What would help out on that?
Well, I mean, obviously the portal guys that they got, and how well will they adjust to playing on the SEC level? Terry Hampton, who was at Arkansas State, athletically he's got a chance. How well does he do against SEC competition? We'll see. Taylor Lewis, the JC defensive lineman, I've heard good things about him. And one source told me that he moved exceptionally well and kind of surprised some people with how athletic he was. He's 6'3", 317, gives you another big body. You got to have some of these guys step up and play at a high level. I don't think you're going to see anybody that, maybe you just never know, but I don't think you're going to see anybody be able to take over the spot and play it at a level like John Ridgway. But there's always that possibility.
Richard, it's National IPA Day, and I know you're someone that loves himself an IPA. That's not necessarily my cup of tea, but are you going to be celebrating later tonight? Heck, you might be celebrating already. I don't know.
No, not this early. No, I usually don't during the week. I usually don't celebrate. I may on the weekend, but during the week, I take it easy. And I try to I guess watch my diet and get my exercise in, so I can do a little celebration on the weekend.
Yeah. So I mean, are you an IPA guy? I've never gotten into those. And I kind of get over there on that aisle in the store, and I get a little bit lost, No,
I love IPAs. That's about the only thing that I will consume. And there's some in Arkansas, like Ozark IPA. That's pretty good. Oh, good gosh, Lost 40 IPA. I like theirs, but no, I like traveling around different parts of the country and always getting a local product IPA, and it's fun. I used to be a traditional domestic guy, but as far as the big breweries and stuff like that. But after getting into the IPAs, I can't do anything but IPAs.
Yeah, when we occasionally will send food pictures to one another, he's always got an IPA next to his food or whatever. Well, Richard, go. Maybe take a holiday and celebrate it tonight. I know you're kind of like me, don't drink during the week, but maybe this can be the exception later on tonight, buddy.
We'll see. I'll send you pictures if I do.
All right, buddy. Sounds good. Richard Davenport, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Whole Hog Sports is new time at 6:30 on a Recruiting Thursday. Tommy.
Our Recruiting Thursday brought to you by Farm Credit. Hey, if you farm, you've got enough to worry about without worrying about how much your interest rates are going to rise, how much your payments are going to change. I know that, there's been a 75 basis point increase about 10 days ago. It's got some people worried right now. And you don't need to be worried about that. You need to talk to Farm Credit and lock in long-term fixed-rate options right now from Farm Credit. They got offices everywhere. You can find a location at myaglender.com. Long-term fixed rates are for the life of your loan, so you don't worry about the adjusting payment as long as that loan's what you got on the books. And it gives you that peace of mind right now in these changing economic times that we're in. Find that Farm Credit office closest to you at myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. Set yourself up for success with Farm Credit, an equal housing lender.
Let's hear from Coach. We've talked about a little of what he said yesterday, including the defensive line and the wide receivers. Well, here was his exact statement when discussing that?
I think Deke Adams has done a really good job of going out and recruiting. So we'll see what we have. That's probably the most, even more so than wide receiver, in my opinion. That's probably the group where you go, okay, we need some things to happen. We think that we have the people for it to happen, but probably that's the biggest question mark possibly on the team. But I'm very confident about that group. I think we've done a nice job of developing the ones we have and throwing a few more out of the portal in there.
Listen, just because it's a question mark doesn't mean it can't be solved. Questions are meant to be answered, and that is the question of this football team, as it often is with Arkansas. Can you get pressure on that said quarterback? Can you find yourself a Jake Beckett or a Jamal Anderson? I don't know if there's a first-rounder on this defensive line. Probably not if I had to guess, but you just got to be able to do it. If you do it by committee, that's fine too. For Arkansas last year, it was Trey Williams the first 4 games. No one could block him. A&M, Texas, Rice, Georgia Southern. Not a single offensive lineman could stymie him. Now after that, kind of tracked off and tailed off a little bit, as the rest of the defensive line did. Yes, they had some sacks here and there, but that has been Arkansas's kind of Achilles heel on defense the first 2 years, is getting pressure. And when in certain situations, and the majority of the time, you're rushing 3, it's a little more difficult. They've been doing that because of defensive line depth. But can you have a defensive line that wreaks havoc? Not just the defensive line. Can Drew Sanders be what he was at Alabama? Just coming off the edge, getting in blitzing situations. He's fast. Like, you have to watch him in person. We mentioned he's out of Denton. We mentioned high school last week. I can't remember what high school it was. But you've just got to have some dudes that are willing to get in there and get after Bryce Young. Get after Will Rogers. Get after whoever's going to start for Auburn. Calzada, Johnson for A&M, or whoever. You got to make their lives, you got to make them petrified when they're sitting there back in the pocket. They're thinking, I don't know where the blitz is coming from or where the defensive line is coming from.
Yeah, if you have enough depth up front, and you may not early with Carter out, we don't, I'm not sure we got much of a clue yesterday. We just know he's going to be on the field, not practicing, but watching practice in the meeting rooms. And Coach Pittman gave a little update on that. But can an Isaiah Nichols, can an Eric Gregory, can a Cam Ball, step up? And will there be enough depth and I don't know, confidence from the coaches? Do you go 4 down linemen? He talked a little bit about 4 versus 3 in there. I kind of lean to think they may put the nickel in a little bit more and run an extra, run an extra one at the second or third level, and then kind of that hybrid player in order to play 3 down linemen. But you got to feel like with 3, can you get a pass rush on? That's the other question. Can you play 4 and get through a season or through the first month of your season with playing 4? So I think there's a lot of things that Barry Odom's got to figure out in this camp, and you can't afford to have any injury, particularly near the top of your depth chart, because last year, you talk about Trey Williams. If it wasn't Williams, it was Ridgeway. And I just don't know that you have that other guy that's going to be able to, hey, when one guy's getting blocked up and double-teamed, the other guy's causing problems. So that's what we got to figure out. All right, a lot more to get to before we're done this morning. We're brought to you by the Fence Man. In fact, tomorrow we'll have our Fence Man Friday picks for you, coming up at about 7:45, so you don't want to miss that. If you need a fence or a gate or anything involving a fence, or maybe you need some fencing repairs you've been putting off and you just don't have time to get it done, call the Fence Man at 782-3936. They build high-quality residential and commercial fencing, whether it's a simple chain link fence that you need, or you need a custom wrought iron installation, or anything in between, from wood privacy fences to vinyl fencing, they do it. So if you're tired of that noisy neighbor next door, or you don't want them looking into your backyard, it's time to call the Fence Man. 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
On hour number 2 coming up, we'll get back into Arkansas football with fall camp beginning tomorrow.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair, or get a $129 drain cleaning, plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Hot temps, hot peppers, hot Cheetos, they're not the only thing that's hot right now. This month, the deal for you at Leaf Guard of Arkansas, it's red hot. It's the $99 sale. Well, what's that mean, you ask? No, don't get ahead of me. I was just about ready to tell you. Okay, now I'm ready to tell you. What was the question? Right. What does the $99 sale mean at Leaf Guard of Arkansas? Well, I'm glad you asked. $99 down on a whole house job, $99 a month, and $99 for installation. And that gets your house outfitted with the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market. And it's also guaranteed to never, ever clog. Get rid of those old gutters and all that muck and mud and shingle grit. Get it out of your life. It's the hot deal of the month at Leaf Guard of Arkansas. The $99 sale. $99 down, $99 a month, $99 for installation. To get it started, just call the experts at Leaf Guard of Arkansas at 501-664-5400 or check them out at leafguardandmore.com.
Are you looking for a career that is in demand and will provide you and your family the living you all deserve? Are you willing to put in the time to learn that profession? If the answer is yes, you need to contact United Welding Institute today. Welders are in demand in-state and across the country for many different types of welding. United Welding Institute has recently placed students from the River Valley with very high-paying employers, and they want to do the same for you. Call today and make an appointment for your future. 479-968-3390. That's 479-968-3390 for United Welding Institute in Pottsville. And tell them you heard it on ESPN Arkansas.
Arkansas Valley Electric members living in Knoxville and Augsburg and surrounding areas, you can now sign up. Wave Rural Connect Internet is available for you. Fast fiber internet, TV, and even phone service. Internet starting at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone for $29.95. Sign up now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Do you remember the joy you felt as a kid about pizza night? Remember how good it smelled? You could taste it even before you opened the box. And then that first bite. It was so good. Be the supper time savior. Order Jim's Razorback Pizza now. 434-3456. The best pizza in Fort Smith, or it's free.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we're expecting to see showers and occasional thunderstorms, mainly early across the north. They should be pretty widespread across the south today. Highs run around 90 degrees. Chance of a few showers, a few thunderstorms tonight. An overnight low will drop down into the low 70s, and a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms with us Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by the Bobby Garland Baby Shed. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place.
Everybody has their own way of getting motivated, and I think he uses that kind of stuff a little bit. You have to ask him. I would assume he uses that in some of his motivation and his preparation. We don't always need somebody to talk bad about us to motivate us, but a lot of times when that happens, there is some type of, well, I'll show you type thing. I think that's KJ's got a little bit of that in him, along with, he wants to be good no matter what people say. But we kind of thrive on that kind of stuff. That's kind of who we are, and we like it that way.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a recruiting Thursday. Had Richard Davenport on a little early with us. You can listen to his interview if you didn't get a chance to listen to it live in our Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast. Now, a lot of you have been asking, hey, what's Malik Hornsby's role going to look like this year? How many touches is he going to get? Can he catch it? What's he look like at the wide receiver position? Well, Sam Pittman is kind of assured that if something were to happen to him or KJ, they have a backup plan. It's Cade Fortin. We'll tell you about what he said coming up in just a sec.
Hey, if you're going to be in or near Central Arkansas, you might want to get down to the Wood Grill Buffet in Benton. It's at the Congo Road exit, just off I-30. It's right behind the IHOP. It's comfort food at its absolute finest. They're going to be opening up today at 10:45. There till 8:30. As they're open Thursday through Sundays. This is our kind of place, Ty. I mean, 30 meats on the buffet. There's gonna be more than a few we like. 55 side items, 70 salad items. We probably won't eat much salad though. We're gonna go right to that meat and taters right over there, and then we're gonna belly up to the dessert bar. They got 25 different desserts, so we may be there a while. We may need to wear our elastic waisted pants when we go to Benton and go to the Wood Grill Buffet. Find out what we're talking about. You can find it online at woodgrillbuffetbenton.com. That's woodgrillbuffetbenton.com. Or again, exit 118 off I-30 on Congo Road, right behind the IHOP.
So I don't know if there's a John Rutledge out there in the intramural fields this upcoming fall. I do know classes start, I think it's the 21st when we looked it up. 22nd. We looked it up earlier this week. So for all you young men that are going to step foot on Arkansas's campus this fall that maybe play a little high school quarterback and you're going to play intramurals, just keep that arm ready because it happens sometimes. We hope it doesn't happen, but it happens. But at least if you were going to get to your third-string quarterback this year, which is Cade Fortin, Sam Pittman, Kendall Briles seem to have confidence in the young man. Here is what Coach said yesterday when discussing what Malik's role looks like and why he's going to be a big part of this offense.
This year we're going to go 1s and 2s, and that way we can keep Malik on that field so we can practice him at wide receiver. I'll just tell you this. I've told him that we need him on the field. Now, he has to earn the right to get on the field, but we need him on the field. I think he's an excellent football player. So we are going to obviously give him – there's a fine line. Give him an opportunity to win the job, but at the same time give him an opportunity to win the wide receiver spot too. So we've got a plan for it. I hope it works. We feel like it will.
That is going to be a really intriguing part of this football team this year is the versatility that Malik Hornsby adds to that offense. KJ Jefferson and Malik share a connection. KJ wanted Malik back when he entered the transfer portal. That's something we'll get to a little later on. But it's kind of like the free agent signing that we just made, right? It's like, how are we going to make it work with Chuck Barrett? Well, it's Chuck freaking Barrett. You make it work. Malik Hornsby. You have a guy that is the fastest player on your football team. Not offense, not defense, the fastest player on your team. How do you make it work? What do? You just make it work, Tommy. You figure it out, you put him in a spot, and you see what happens.
Yeah, he just said we're going to put ones and twos on one end of the practice field together so he can be out there more with it and make it work. That's exactly what you're saying. You adjust your practice plan to make it work. And I think with someone with the physical skills that Malik Hornsby has, you've got to figure out a way to make it work. There's not time for him to play, but he's no good to your football team standing on the sideline, charting plays, signaling plays, whatever you'd have the number 2 guy doing. Let's just be honest. We all hope he doesn't have to play due to injury. We hope he gets to play because Arkansas's got a comfortable lead. I don't know how many of those games there's really going to be. I mean, normally you'd have directional tech, on your schedule. There's one of those this year.
Directional tech.
You'd play,
Yeah.
There's just only really one of those games, and that guy coming in is called Bobby Petrino, coaching that team. So who knows what that day may or may not be like. There's just not a lot of spots, as it appears from our perch, where, hey, Hornsby probably get to play the fourth quarter in this one. I mean, you see those spots on the schedule?
No.
Maybe Missouri, if you're playing good, and who knows what Missouri season is going to unfold and look like. It's a big year for those guys up there to make some strides because Drinkwitz, I don't say he's going to be the hot seat yet, but it may start warming up if they have a lackluster year again. Wash, rinse, repeat up there. So, I mean, that's so far off you can't even imagine it. So, I hope they can get the ball to him. I think when you put the ball in his hands and he can find a crease and get into some open space, he's going to get you first downs and maybe touchdowns.
We saw it in the Texas game. We saw it in the A&M game. We saw it in the bowl game. You give him space, watch out. Mm-hmm. And he's going to have more of that playing in the slot, on reverses, and option stuff. I think back to the play they had in the Penn State game. So KJ, I think, handed it to Traylon, and then Traylon ran a speed option with Rocket Sanders. And he pitched it to him. Rocket went in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
They're going to have some unorthodox looks in place this year, but it's going to be so confusing for a defense because you got a guy that not only runs, I think, at 4.3 40, but can throw it too, in addition to be able to pitch it, in addition to be able to throw it back to KJ. I mean, there are so many little intricate pieces that I know Kendall Briles is just kind of licking his chops over. It's like, man, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that, blah, blah, blah. Now, hopefully, if one thing's working, he just keeps doing it. Like the Penn State game, he just kept running the football, because Penn State had no answer for that. But there are so many questions if you're a defense that you have to answer. Hey, do I go for the ball carrier? Do I go for KJ? Do I go for Malik? Is he going to throw it? That is in a split-second decision. You don't have time to think if you're a defense. You just got to make a decision and hope that Arkansas doesn't beat you. As we saw last year, they beat you a lot of times running the football.
Yeah, in Arkansas, obviously the number 1 rushing team last year in Power 5. I don't know if they can do that again this year. I'd kind of say they're not going to do that this year. We brought up the point earlier this week. I was making the point that, you had a Traylon Burks out there that commanded so much attention that allowed some room to run the football. Can you flip that script this year? Can you be so good? Because Coach Pittman talked yesterday about I don't think he called it a 3-headed monster, but talked about the 3 different running backs and, not wearing guys down and going through the guys he's got back there. Can they be so good running the football that you suck more guys into the box? You draw the attention where it does open it up, for a Hazelwood, for a Warren Thompson, maybe for Trey Knox to slip out somewhere from tight end, Keytron Jackson, or a Hornsby. I think last year the passing game helped the running game. Can it be a bit in reverse this year?
Yeah, that's a great question. And watch this year. Watch Trey Knox fake run blocking and then getting out in the flat or getting up the middle. That is going to happen several times because you're going to be so worried about Arkansas's rushing attack that you think Trey's blocking you. Next thing you know, he's in the end zone.
I may block you all the way to the counter at Hardee's today to get up there and get one of them Angus thick burgers today. Another chance to qualify if you want to be a part of the football trip of a lifetime. See the Titans at the Chiefs. Tie 11-1 today. You're at 27-20 Rogers in Fort Smith. Is that right?
Yeah,
I'm asking.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
That's correct. Yeah, stop by and see. We had 3 people stop by and see us on Tuesday. We're still picking up qualifiers, like Tommy said. Titans and Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium. I don't know if you've been watching Traylon Burks lately. He has been killing cornerbacks and safeties. So he's going to be ready to play for that game and the rest of the NFL season. Again, 27-20 Rogers Avenue today from 11-1.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Drew Morgan, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunity, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Picture another world, another dimension, one of space, one of time, one where chicken on made-from-scratch biscuits only costs $1. This place exists, and it's called the Hardee's app. So when you buy one hand-breaded chicken biscuit, you get another for just $1. Cluck bait! It's time to fall for some cluck bait. Bite into the hand-breaded chicken menu only at Hardee's. Feed you're happy. Available for limited time during regular breakfast hours at participating restaurants. Exclusively in the Hardee's app or website by registered My Rewards members. Tax not included. See app or website for additional terms and conditions.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road Ready premium pre-owned vehicles. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance, and Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren, 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate and worried about your cost rising? Interest rates are rising and you may have a problem. Farm Credit can fix that. Talk to Farm Credit about locking in a long-term fixed rate for the life of your loan. Farm Credit's long-term fixed rates offer peace of mind in changing economic times. We're offering the longest terms in the ag industry. Talk to Farm Credit today. Find an office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment, not having enough home time, feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Jones on the end around. He's got great speed. Still on his feet. Felix Jones might be gone. He is. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Did you miss a segment or interview during the show? Find it in the Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Let's get into our Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com. So I talked about this with Richard. It is National IPA Day. The question is, do you drink IPAs or light beer? And some, for whatever reason, I've never understood this. Apparently, like, once you graduate college, you're supposed to transition for some people, which I think is the most idiotic, stupid, atrocious line of thinking out there. Because you're don't
supposed
drink,
to what?
Transition, transfer to IPA. I've noticed my moronic friends deciding that they've got to drink it because it's more sophisticated. It's like, drink what you want to drink, bro. It doesn't matter. And it goes back to the same thing. And I appreciate those who have accumulated wealth over time that are the exact same people. They drink the same thing they did at 18 as they do at 56. That's how I'm going to be. I'm going to drink my Natty Light when I was 18. I'm going to drink it when I'm 65. That's just how it's going to be. You don't drink IPAs, do you?
I don't understand all of that. I'll be honest. I guess I am pretty basic and pretty boring because it's either Bud Light or it's Mick Ultra or something like that. You know, now I'll be honest. We used to drink a little Natty Light back in the day, and I've had a few Keystones lately along the way. But you know, it's normally either Bud Light or Mick Ultra.
When I go to the store,
I slip a Busch Light in there every now and then.
Yeah, then it's a Busch State.
I'm pretty bored. I mean, I get if you think that's because there's nothing wrong with any of these craft beers. And I think some of the can art or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I think that's what sells it from everything I've kind of understood about it. Is you better have a good design on that can. But I get lost in all the terminology. I mean, I'll be honest. Gun to head, if you said what's IPA stand for, I guess I'll say my goodbyes because
an Indian Pale Ale.
So
it stands for.
Thank you. I didn't know what it was.
Expand your palate.
See, here he is. He's looking down at the. You are a cultured people.
And this is
expand your palate. There's more different flavors out there than just your run-of-the-mill watered down beer. And don't get me wrong, I like the watery stuff. I drink Budweiser. I drink Miller Lite. But I like a good craft beer. I'm about 50-50 on IPAs. I can drink them, but I'm not going to get hammered.
If you try and order an IPA at Papa's, we will not invite you back. You are not allowed back. That invite has been revoked. If you do that tonight and you step up and Allie comes over and say, "What do you want?" and you say, "I want this IPA," just leave, get out, and never come back.
See, but that's the thing. I know when and where to drink these things, and there's different places that you don't drink.
Yeah.
You don't drink them at Papa's. That's not the place. But if I'm at a brewery, I want to try their IPA. And another thing, you talk about can designs, you also got to have good names. These craft beers have to have
there's
good
some crazy
and
ones.
clever
I'll give you that.
and good names. But it is good, to
And
change up your
And
palate
I don't want
a
to
bit.
rip on the local breweries because we do have some really good ones throughout the state. And I want to be very clear about that. But it ain't for me. And it ain't for most of our listeners. Now, Ryan...
I think it's an acquired taste, and I just hadn't acquired it yet.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But according to Drew, we're not sophisticated enough.
See,
I'm not saying you're not sophisticated, but
we're too uncultured.
Well, open your horizons. Be for adventure and trying new things.
Drew in Fayetteville
Sometimes
says...
I'll drink a Busch instead of a Busch Light.
Yeah. Drew in Fayetteville says that look how many different IPAs they have in Northwest Arkansas. Now, Ryan in Conway is on your side, Drew. He says an IPA is just a type of craft beer. It's more flavor than the water you're drinking. The water.
We've been talking quarterbacks and offensive line for an hour. We get 10 texts. We talk beer for 10 seconds. We got 100 texts. Thank you for listening out there.
Drew in Berryville says you haven't
Let's
lived
talk beer.
until you've had PBR out of a bottle. Now, we had...
Gum right. And then some Boone's Farm out of a bottle, too.
Yeah, we bought the... I don't think they had these in Arkansas, Drew in Berryville, but at one point they were selling 99 of these suckers in like a big old... We bought one of them at one point. That was awesome. That was the best. All right, let's see. Main beer, according to Jamie May, is Busch Light, but he will drink Ultra and Dos Equis as well. Yeah, but those aren't craft beers. Those are just...
This statement might actually will get me
Hispanic
fired
beers.
and hated. I don't know if I've ever actually had a Busch Light before.
We got to fix
You've lived
that.
in Arkansas for a year, and you haven't had a Busch Light? Now, that's not my...
I've had a Busch Light Apple. I've tried those
Okay.
before. My brother-in-law loves
I
them, and he
saw-
makes me bring them back to Memphis
Those were
every
getting
time.
sucked down at
But I don't know if
Peacemaker.
I've ever actually had an original Busch Light.
I like Busch Light. My brother, that's what he drinks. That is not my, I'm going, when I go to the store, if I'm getting beer, it's Natty or Mick Ultra. And I like Bud Light, Busch Light. I'll drink Coors, Miller. I mean, I don't have a huge, if it's light beer, PBR, I'm probably going to drink it. But you've been here an entire year, and I can't give you too much crap because you drink Bud heavy. So that's I respect that.
Put hair on your chest.
Budweiser and bourbon. That's all I normally drink.
I respect that. But you
And,
haven't-
and some craft beer.
How's that Budweiser work out for your diet plan, though?
Not very good. That's why I switched
More
to
power
Miller. That's
walking.
why I switched to Miller Lite on Thursdays.
Do you power walk with a Bud in hand? Bud
No.
heavy? No?
No.
Use those as kind of weights, and go along?
Okay. Let's get some calls on this. Let's welcome our audience in because this obviously is a very, very volatile conversation because people have their opinions and they want to share them. Drew in Fayetteville, you're up first. Your thoughts on craft beer this morning as it's National IPA Day.
Yeah, so I am an IPA guy, but have you guys tried any of the Pilsners or the lagers from any of these craft breweries? It's not all IPAs that they do.
I've had, when we go occasionally as a friend group or if a young lady wants to go out and she wants to go there, I've gone and I've just been like, give me what I think I should get. So I've had other stuff outside of IPA, but I don't make a habit of
Do you ever get the
this is-
flight deal where they'll bring you 5 shot glass and kind of try what you...
Yeah, did that NOLA a little bit.
Get a
I
sampler platter.
Northwest Arkansas is unbelievable for it. From Fossil Cove to Ozark, you can walk in and they'll have 12 or 15 different beers that they brewed in Northwest Arkansas. And, you can get a Pilsner, you can get lagers, wheat beers. The Arkansas Red is like a Killian's Irish Red. These Arkansas craft breweries, they're phenomenal. They do a great job.
So do you still ever suck down a Busch Light, Drew?
Oh, no question.
Okay, well, then you're good.
Then you're good with us.
You're
yeah.
good with
Yeah.
us. And that's the...
And
Go ahead.
and some natty light that Tommy was talking about.
Yes.
That's Ty's deal.
And Drew, I'll tell you this, brother. When I walk into an establishment and I see that beautiful red and white stripe on the bar tab, I know I'm going to have a good time. It's only a select number of places nowadays, but if you see that some place has Natural Light on tap and they have pictures too, then just it's going to be a great night, and I'll leave it there on that.
Yeah, I don't tie one on like that too much anymore. So that's the thing about these craft beers being 5-6%. You can have one or two of them, and it's a lot better than drinking 8 Natty Lights.
And I'll go the opposite way on that because I'd rather have 8 natty lights. But Drew,
he's a cheap drunk.
Drew, we appreciate your call this morning. Thanks for your thoughts on craft beers and IPAs and a variety. Now I just got a text, Drew, from Joel in Northwest Arkansas. Do you know what Budweiser stands for? As someone
it's King of Beers. That's what it says on the bottle.
It is the king.
Okay. He says you deserve to know what every individual enjoys regularly. So I guess you need to look that up and see what it stands for. Okay. He's a beer connoisseur himself, so that's that. We've got some pretty poignant opinions on this.
I mean, here's getting loaded with text.
Here's my thing. The wealthiest guy I know drinks Busch Light, and he doesn't have a problem if someone's drinking craft beer or something next to him. The problem I have is if you're drinking craft beer and I order something that's light and you look at me weird like he just did.
Yeah, he looked down his nose at us.
That's where I come in. And
depending on where we
you
are.
Could just see,
if we're at a brewery or
it doesn't matter where we are. Busch Light is good.
It does matter.
Busch Light's good at a wedding. Busch Light's good at we're at Benville. What's the place that all the girls like to take pictures in Benville, and I cannot think of it. It's this incredible bar. Begins with a P.
I was going to say Crystal Bridges, but I knew I was way off there.
You know what? It's great. Busch Light's great at Crystal Bridges.
I don't know if you can get one at Ruth Chris though.
I don't know. Well, you should be able to.
You should be in Rochester.
Are they not losing money by not having that on the menu?
They may not see it.
If you're at a good restaurant or you're at one of these bars that are known for their different variety, like Flying Saucer, it's a national thing, but there's 2 of them in Memphis.
One in Little Rock.
One in Little Rock as well. That have over 200 different types of beer at one time, and we walk in and you order a Natty Light. Yeah, you're gonna get some looks. They literally tell you if you order a Bud Light, get out.
They can shove those looks up their rectum because I don't care.
So it does matter where you are.
Well, and to Ryan and Conway text this in, if you're at a local brewery, it's disrespectful to buy anything but their product. Is that like asking for ketchup in a steakhouse?
Then why do you have the beers then? Because they sell. If that's the case, now if you don't have basically the mini fridge, where the non-their beers are kept, owners and managers aren't stupid. They have those for a reason because people still go in and buy them. Someone help me out with that bar that begins with the P in Benville.
Preacher's Son?
It's not Preacher's Son. It's like Prometheus or something like that. It's the Prometheary. It's something like that. And there's like obviously all across the state, everywhere's different, right? Benville looks a heck of a lot different than a smaller southern Arkansas
or
town.
Even Little Rock.
Yeah, or Little. I mean, Little
Rock's
Rock's
the River
different.
Market.
Yeah, it's different. But
there's a lot of tap houses in the River Market.
I will always, if they have the local stuff, like you said, they don't have the other stuff, I'll get the local stuff. But if they have that, I'm getting that. And if they look at me weird, I was like, why do you care it then? Oh, because it sells because people drink it. That's why.
Listen. If they don't make it in a 40 that you can get in a brown bag at the gas station, move on. You know what I mean? Where all the good beers are kept, right?
All right, Mr. Kraft, for Christmas this year, you're getting a few Colt 45s then. If that's what
wouldn't be the first time. So,
man, well, this got pretty up there. We're gonna talk with Tom Murphy coming up in just a bit. We might
Peddler's Pub, is that the one you were looking for?
I'm going to have to look this up. Guys, it's the one with the big old chandelier. And honestly, probably our audience doesn't go there that often, which is good because it's not my cup of tea. Like, I've been to the fancy schmancy places in Benville. Like, one of my buddies took me to Blake Street. It's got the pool. It's got the record player. I walked in there, and there's more money in there than I could ever imagine. I'm just like, I don't fit in here. Like, I was wearing, some old swim trunks and that.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Did you have your Chacos on, too?
I did, actually.
A Hawaiian?
I have the rep. I just don't have the look. Just because it's the radio, but it's like, why is he dressed like that? So I can kind of get in certain places, and then people look at me weird on that. Jeez Louise. All right. We'll go to Tom Murphy, talk a little football with him, because we do need to transition from our beer conversation. Tom, I wasn't aware of this, and I think you asked the question. Cincinnati opening game. I know Arkansas fans are hoping they get some better punting this year. I didn't know that Fletcher's brother Mason played at Cincinnati. Both their family, I think they're flying in from Australia to see that game in Fayetteville. Is that correct?
Well, good morning, guys. I gave away a little of my Hawk future I'm doing on Max Fletcher, who, he punted at Pro Kick Australia. His brother did. They're jacked up that they're going to meet on the field for the game. A few more details will come out in my story, but his parents are supposed to come up. And, with COVID, it's been a while, so it's going to be a neat little reunion for them.
I thought that was pretty cool. We got a lot of stuff out of Sam Pittman yesterday, and I know that he's really excited. You remember how Chad Morris was trying to shrink the fellas up front? Well, that worked out really well. 2 back-to-back 2-10 seasons, and now Sam's got Jamil Walker, trying to pump these boys, get some beef into them. They look like an SEC team a lot more now than they did when he first got there. How important is that you just continue to grow, not just in build, but they're getting a lot more speed too, it seems like.
Right. Well, it's imperative. A, keep the great D linemen in this conference away from your quarterback, and then B, get the ball in the hands of guys who can outrun fast guys on the other side of the field. And on the other side of the ball, have your safeties and corners, the guys who are fast, come up and make plays on the other team's fast receivers. I mean, that's why Jameson Williams was such a great addition for Alabama. He ran by people last year with his great speed. And he did it for a touchdown in the Arkansas game, or actually a couple of touchdowns. So it's all a part of being a quality program. And there's a lot of things that go into winning, but believing that they can go out and make plays and win games was part of it. But then being a team that's bigger, that can physically do things on people, and then have the speed to get by them are other components. And he's slotting those things into place, and they look much more like a quality SEC football team now.
Tom, one of the early questions yesterday was about Torian Carter, and it was a little bit cryptic. I don't know what you took out of that. He's going to be in the meetings. He's in practice, not cleared for contact. What was your takeaway on when he may or may not return?
Well, he had to have knee surgery, and they haven't been super specific, and I think we're going to run into that a lot more this year. But he had to have knee surgery, and if it's an ACL, as I believe, then you know what the time frame is for ACL surgeries, for return. So if he plays this year, it would be kind of ahead of schedule thing. And what Sam said in Atlanta about him was that guys who have strong their muscles are strong around their soft tissue can come back from knee surgeries faster, and that Torian Carter is one of those guys. And so I don't know. I hate it for him because he was having a heck of a spring. We had just talked to him a few days before, maybe the week before, and it was in good spirits. And I think he was going to be, a starter, and I think he was looking to have a breakout season. So Cam Ball and some other guys are going to have to jump up and help Isaiah Nichols, Terry Hampton, some other guys at tackle till he comes back. And I think Dominic Johnson is the same thing. I mean, his injury happened in the bowl, so he's got a few months on Torian. But Coach Pittman said yesterday, they didn't think they'd have him for the Cincinnati game, but they felt like they'd have him for a good chunk of the year. So we're going to see a lot of Rocket Sanders, A.J. Green, and Rashad Dubinion for several games before Dominic Johnson can return.
Back to Torian Carter for just saying, I guess we should point out he's a redshirt junior for those that may not know. So, I get confused, Tom, with the COVID year and extra year of eligibility and where that begins and leaves off sometimes now. So he's already used his redshirt, I guess, is one thing we should point out with Carter if he's not able to go this year.
Yeah, that's correct. Of course, high school teammate of Jalen Catalon came in with Catalon, and of course Catalon was the bigger name. But we've talked to Carter a few times now, and he's a good kid. And like I said, his spring was going, it was going very well, and he would have gotten starting reps. I'm positive about that. And so now Isaiah Nichols is more the leader in that room, and those other guys are going to have to pick it up till Carter can come back.
Tom Murphy with us here on the Morning Rush. Tom, I think a lot of people are wondering, hey, who's going to be catching the football on kickoffs and punt returns? And Sam Pittman listed off a handful of guys yesterday. He did nix Rocket Sanders, though, and Scott Fountain was asking him about that. And I just find it fascinating that back in the day, you had your two starting running backs, Felix Jones and Darren McFadden, out there. It's just not like that today, man.
No, it's not, because they know the stats say that the collisions on kickoff returns are some of the most violent and injury-causing in college football and pro football. One of the good things about that is there's not as many kickoff returns as there used to be, but you can still get hurt when you do return them. So I think it's a wise idea. You know, Rocket did return some last year, just a few. A.J. Green did, but I think Green's still probably in the mix. Isaiah Satania. I think Miles Slusher, they mentioned, is a potential kickoff return guy. And I was talking to, I think it was Jalen Lewis, saying that he's a good return guy too. So I don't know if he's going to get into the mix or not. But he's a DB. But yeah, I think we're going to see some new faces back there, and hopefully Arkansas can get to where, you know, it was a few years ago, where Burks was a dangerous guy on punt returns, and you know, it's been only a few guys since Joe Adams that were electric enough that could, you know, return punts and kickoffs for touchdown. You know, and Dennis Johnson, Johnson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kid from Texarkana.
Oh yeah, Tom, you mentioned that, and by the way, I hope you don't have a Greg Brooks fiasco like you did in the Texas game, where first one he tried to field, he muffed, and Arkansas got lucky because guy stepped out of bounds. But all right, so tomorrow, set the scene. You're walking into practice. What's the first thing you're looking for when you step foot on a fall camp for the first time?
Oh man, now you're going to make me. I don't know what. I'm looking for guys, you know, like who's injured and, you know, who's in there, who's not, who's in on the first units. There's so much to take in. This is what I love about football. There's so many components that have to fall into place to make for a good team. And Arkansas has got a lot more of those this year. But, you know, who's in there on the defensive front? You know, are they running 3-man fronts, 4-man fronts more often? Are they going to do like they did in spring, where they started off in 3 for couple of weeks and then moved to 4? Personnel, who's the first groups of receivers? How often Malik Hornsby gets used and when? Oh, there's a lot of things to keep track of, and I don't know. There's an excitement about this team suiting up and going out this year because of what happened last season and the promise that, you know, they're still really good. And they're going to be in a lot of these games.
Yeah. Tom, real quick, we got about 30 seconds before we got to run, but first practice is at 5, then 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock up till their first day off next week. You surprised with the heat that these practices have been scheduled in the hottest parts of the day?
Well, a little bit, because Sam said in Atlanta that they would adjust the schedule if they needed to. And the player, you know, council kind of came to them, and, you know, player safety is a big deal. And so I think if we end up having some of these 100-degree days and the heat index is way up there, they'll probably adjust those and go either, you know, in the evenings or try to go in the morning.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, that might be on the lookout for an adjusted time if the weather doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, great stuff as always. We'll talk to you next week on Tuesday.
All right, sounds great. See y'all.
All right, Tom Murphy with us every Tuesday and Thursday now here on the Morning Rush from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Hey, it's a great weekend to get out and get on the White River. It's always a great time in the fall, and that might be what you want to look at in your schedule to see, hey, when's that open weekend where the kids are gone or when the kids can go or whatever your schedule may look like. Gaston's is the place, and you know, Tom was talking about the weather there a minute ago. That's the good thing about trout fishing. You go early of a morning if you want and get out there about 7:30, and you can have a good half day with a guide before noon. Get in, have a great lunch overlooking the White River, take you a nap inside your cabin, and have your great dinner in their restaurant overlooking the White River. That's the kind of relaxation you're going to get at Gaston's White River Resort. Give them a call at 870-431-5202. Ask about guides in even their Bigger staff now have fly fishing guides that are available at Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
This is Chuck Barrett, the voice of the Razorbacks, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
How much life can you fit in a 2022 Toyota RAV4?
Hon, can you grab me a Swan float? They're in the RAV4.
The pink one or the yellow one?
How about 69.8 cubic feet for inflatable fun?
Want me to put the address in the RAV4's GPS?
No. I know exactly where yeah.
Thought so.
Up to 40 miles of uncharted terrain per gallon.
Get in the RAV4. Get in the RAV4. I did not expect mountain lions out here.
That's a cat.
But it's big though, right?
Yeah. Big kitty.
That's 37.7 inches of headroom for tall tales.
Hey, pull into that taco stand here. I'm starving. I'm grabbing 2 number 4s.
And grab 2 for me.
And 2 to 4 number 4s for the largest appetites. The numbers add up. It's amazing how much life you can fit in a 2022 Toyota RAV4. Visit your local dealer or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability. EPA estimated 41 city, 38 highway, 40 combined MPG for 2022 RAV4 XSE hybrid.
Are you looking for a career that is in demand and will provide you and your family the living you all deserve? Are you willing to put in the time to learn that profession? If the answer is yes, you need to contact United Welding Institute today. Welders are in demand in-state and across the country for many different types of welding. United Welding Institute has recently placed students from the River Valley with very high-paying employers, and they want to do the same for you. Call today and make an appointment for your future. 479-968-3390. That's 479-968-3390 for United Welding Institute in Pottsville, and tell them you heard it on ESPN Arkansas.
Don't you just hate that? Sitting in a tire store waiting room while your car's being serviced? That's the last place you need to be with work and kids and the 10 million things you need to be doing. Well, don't. Free shuttle service. Pickup and delivery free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Hi, Kim Bircher. 3 locations, 1 in Van Buren and 2 in Fort Smith. One stop. We do everything. So you don't have to go from place to place for tires or service or repairs or maintenance. We are local. 37 years and voted best of the best time and time again. We will pick up and deliver or shuttle you so you don't have to waste your time. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier at Jody'sAuto.com, JODYS Auto.com.
The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors has all your fishing gear for summer trips at the lake or river. Check out the fishing kayaks by Old Town and New Canoe. Summer savings up to $300 off select models. Get ready for fall archery season now with a new bow by Hoyt, Matthews, Elite, and Bowtech. Jelco has the largest selection of box blinds for fall hunting. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors during the good old summertime. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Visit Metters
Lumber True Value for great deals on the supplies you need most. Right now, select your choice of Four Seasons Courtyard Green Deluxe Sports Chair or blue oversized padded quad armchair for just $39.99. And keep your furnace working properly with your choice of Filtrete Ultra Allergen Furnace Filters. They're only $17.99. We can also help meet storage needs with your choice of Sterlite 18-gallon storage tote. Get these bargains of the month from Metters Lumber True Value while supplies last. Certain exclusion supplies. See store for details.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Usually Coach Pittman's pretty tight-lipped on injuries, but we did get an update on your starting running back last year that isn't expected to start game one, or at least it doesn't look like from the optics. Here's what Coach had to say about who's number one in the depth chart and Dominique Johnson's status for Cincinnati.
Dominique, we had to talk about that this morning in our staff meeting with Dave. I feel like he'll be able to do some things, maybe not the first week as far as team-oriented type things, but he's progressing well. He's ahead of schedule. So I don't know if we'll have him for the Cincinnati game or not, but I feel like we're going to have him majority of the season.
All right, let's play doctor here. He got injured in the bowl game, which happened on January 1st. It's August the 4th. How many months is that?
Well, that's 8 months, right?
Okay. It was a knee.
I mean, it's 7 full months. I guess you're going into your 8th month.
It was a knee injury, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it fair to me to say that he tore his ACL? Is that a fair statement for me to make based on that if he's recovering and it's 8 months later that he tore his ACL? Is that a fair statement for me to make, or a fair guess?
It's not a statement. It's an assumption.
Is that a fair assumption based on the timeline? What other knee injuries do you know that Achilles is, 15?
Oh, Achilles is maybe the biggest time killer of all injuries.
It's like a year and a half.
Can be.
Some.
Now, we've seen some come back faster, but yeah, I mean, Achilles is the worst news you can get. Like a young player in the NFL might be a career ender.
Yeah.
Because you're cut, you're gone. I mean, but yeah, I think when you're talking about Dominique, that's a fair assumption. I think you can say it's an assumption, not a statement.
Oh, it's not a statement. Yeah, that's the incorrect wording. But is that a fair assumption on my part?
Yes.
Based on if it's injured in the bowl game, it's a knee, and he's still recovering at this point.
Yes.
We know knee injuries can be difficult. We've talked about how important this running back depth is.
I think the other important thing here, though, when you're talking about a running back versus lineman versus other positions, I think wide receiver fits in about what I'm saying. It's the lateral movement, it's the cuts, it's the plants, it's all the things you got to do physically, shifting your weights. I mean, it's a position that you can't have any doubt. If you ever drove a car that would die on you, did you ever have one of those that in put, yeah. And you didn't know if it was going to go, and it'd shake a little bit, and you're
in the highway, just like turning.
How many times you want to turn out left with that big truck going? And knees, you didn't trust it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would think, and I, knock on wood, I ain't had a knee injury yet.
Wow.
You have,
yeah. But
how long did it take you to trust, to plant, cut, move laterally, do all the things to run fast and jump high? I equated to that old beater car we all had at some point in high school or college or wherever. Man, it'd die on you every now and then. You had to put it in neutral and crank it back up. You wouldn't turn left when traffic was coming. But I would think a knee would be kind of like that.
It is.
Once I got that tune-up and it didn't die anymore, I'll get right out there. Mm-hmm. Until you make a few of them plants and cuts as a running back in Johnson, I just think it's different. Not that something like Torian Carter's situation, if it's the same thing, doesn't have its challenges. I just think when you're a running back or a wide receiver, something like that, what you depend on out of that knee is just a little different.
Torian's going to be in camp. He doesn't look like he's going to be active in camp. He's going to go to meetings and stuff like that. Coach Pittman did address that yesterday. Cade Renfro has not been cleared yet. Coach also talked about that. Those are kind of the injuries. And then I think it was Ja'Cory Turner, who is the other guy that he mentioned as well, dealing with injuries. I think that's the 4, if I remember that correctly. But those are kind of the guys that he talked about football-wise.
Clay's coming up in about 10 minutes with us, and I'm sure he's listening right now. Not having injuries of this nature in camp. You don't want to lose anybody in camp, but it's one thing to lose someone in camp that's gone for the year. You have one of these injuries like we're talking about now with a knee,
they're done.
Gonzo.
Oh.
So, I mean, that is a huge thing for a team that, it seems like every year we talk about depth, but you just can't lose one of these frontline guys with an injury of this nature because, at least if it happens early, you can get somebody as ready as you're going to get them, but that's the storyline we can't come out of August with.
Well, and speaking of injuries, I know a lot of people are freaking out about this. It doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. So practice yesterday, which was open to the media, Nick Smith was not in the drills and scrimmages and stuff. He was on the sidelines and it was on his left finger, right? This is not no, this is the other one. It's the second one from
Wait a minute.
The second one from the.
Are you calling me number 1 there? He's got a bone bruise. And it was noticed that it was taped up, but thought they I guess knew it wasn't a break. They thought it might have been a ligament, but I guess maybe the best news is it's a bone bruise. Obviously, you don't have to talk very long though about the importance of the fingers and the dexterity when you're talking about a point guard and what you need there. Kind of hard to be effective offensively, dribbling the ball, handling the ball with bad fingers.
And as ambidextrous as Nick is when he's getting to the rim, it doesn't matter if it's your left or right hand. He needs them both. So.
Well, I'm not even talking about shot. That we hadn't even gotten into that. You're just handling the basketball. So, bone bruise, I don't know. Does he play much in Italy and Spain? I guess. I don't know. Well, must is certainly putting off the impression that he doesn't give one hoot about these 4 games. He just wants these practices. But I bet come game time, he'll be ready to win.
Yeah, he's like he mentioned it, not this press conference, but last one. It's like, we're going to still try and win, but it's not that big of a deal.
Oh, he was asked yesterday about the teams we're playing. Bob Holt asked, are they older guys, the guys in their 30s? And he said, I guess we're going to have to get Riley Hall in here, their director of basketball operations, get him to tell you. I don't know anything. I don't believe that. I don't think what Muss is saying is. I think he knows far more than he's letting on. But the picture that's being painted is, hey, we're going on a trip. Now, he announced that, or let us know yesterday that they're now going to spend at least a half day or something in Switzerland ahead of one of the games. And,
oh wow!
And so they're just trying to, I think, give these guys a bonding opportunity, but a life experience they wouldn't otherwise get.
And there's your ding, ding, ding. This is your answer. This is not about winning these 4 games. This is about team building and bonding. You got 11 new dudes, 11 on this roster. You got, I guess, 4 if you count the walk-ons that are back from last year's team. 2 real guys that are actually going to play this year. And I say play. Kamani might not play. Devo will. So they got to bond somehow. This is a great way to do it.
No better place than Italy or Spain or I guess now Switzerland, as he revealed yesterday.
Good old Fayetteville, Arkansas. That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
So apparently Jake Gyllenhaal is going to play in a Roadhouse remake, Tommy, that Amazon Prime is getting together. And I think Conor McGregor is going to be in it too.
We've run out of all the original ideas.
And I love Roadhouse, the original one. It's awesome. Patrick Swayze, Lynch. Who's the old Sam mustache dude?
Sam Elliott. Yeah. He's in 1883.
That's just a great movie. Great movie.
I need to go back and watch that. Patrick Swayze had Red Dawn back then,
Charlie
Dirty
Sheen.
Dancing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was
He's
was
that dude.
Early, mid-'80s, somewhere 83, 84, somewhere
What's
in there.
the Chippendale skit with him and what's his face? Big old dude.
Chris Farley?
Late Chris Farley. Yeah, that was an all-time
you're
SNL
right.
skit. All right, hour number 3 coming up. We're going to have Clay Henry join us to kick off hour 3, get his thoughts on some of the things that Sam Pittman talked about yesterday.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
It's the most wonderful time.
Whoa,
of
Dad,
the
Christmas is
year.
months away. Why are you singing that?
Oh, no, Matt, it's football season. That is the most wonderful time of the year.
You know, your dad's side is approaching legendary status. Anyway, Hog fans, this is Matt.
And this is Robert, a.k.a. Legendary Dad Guy.
Dad, please stop. Folks, he is right, though. It is time for football.
And, Matt, with all the hype surrounding this year's football team, everyone should be loading up on their hog gear now before it's too late.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback has all things Razorback.
Yep, whether your needs are for tailgating, game day, man cave decorations, and dorm room stuff. Hey, Matt, you do have your dorm room
Dad,
ready
I
to go,
graduated 3 years ago.
right? Oh, yeah. Keep
Folks,
forgetting.
come
That's
and
right.
see us at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
We're located at 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. And Matt, I'm going to leave that WWS.
He means our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Or you can call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. It does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
Hello, this is Sue from the paint store in Van Buren. We are set and ready for all your spring and summer projects. We keep real samples of your Richards paint on file so we can be sure it matches every time. No computer can do that. The paint store in Van Buren. Color expertise and 34 years of knowledge outweighs all the competition. No other paint seller can do that. The paint store in Van Buren, Fayetteville Road, 474-4505.
Calling all fans of flavor. There's something new at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Fridays Fajitas. Fajitas you love in bold new flavors like dynamite shrimp, tandoori chicken, and the spicier whiskey glazed blaze Tex-Mex. Right now, get free chips and queso with any Fajitas order. Dine in or order online for curbside pickup at Fridays.com. New Fridays Fajitas at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road Ready premium pre-owned vehicles, each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we're expecting to see showers and occasional thunderstorms, mainly early across the north. They should be pretty widespread across the south today. Highs right around 90 degrees. Chance of a few showers, a few thunderstorms tonight. An overnight low will drop down into the low 70s, and a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms with us Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Everybody has their own way of getting motivated, and I think he uses that kind of stuff a little bit. You have to ask him. I would assume he uses that in some of his motivation and his preparation. We don't always need somebody to talk bad about us to motivate us, but a lot of times when that happens, there is some type of, well, I'll show you type thing. I think that's KJ's got a little bit of that in him, along with, he wants to be good no matter what people say. But we kind of thrive on that kind of stuff. That's kind of who we are, and we like it that way.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, hour number 3 of the Morning Rush on a recruiting Thursday. You've heard this guy on our show typically on Tuesdays and Fridays, but we're shifting up the schedule a little bit. The senior fella and contributor at ESPN Arkansas, Mr. Clay Henry, set to join us in just a sec, Tommy.
Now that Clay's coming in a little bit later, he gets a better night's sleep. And if you're not getting a good night's sleep, you might want to see our friends at Cheap Sleep. They're all over the area in Bentonville, Fort Smith, and in Conway. They have got a sale going on right now with full-size mattresses, including mattress, box spring, and frame for $299. They got gel memory foam mattresses starting at $399 with everything you need. Plus, back-to-school savings on sofas and love seats and sectionals starting at $899 right now. And if you're interested in a split king mattress, we've got one of these at my house where each side's independent. So when I get up at 4-something in the morning, it doesn't rattle the other side of the bed. These are a great way to go. Right now, with the purchase of a adjustable, you can get that split king starting at $15.99. That is an awesome way to go. Cheap Sleep, their back-to-school savings sale on now. Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith, and Conway. Tell Cheap Sleep you heard it right here, and they got something free to give you. So, as Drew always says, if it's free, it's for me. And they got it at Cheap Sleep.
It's a good statement. I know you got a chance, Clay, to catch up with Dalton Wagner. And one of the things that Sam Pittman touched on yesterday is his health. I think it's his back that he's having issues, being 6'9", 6'10", and just the pressure that puts being in a two-point stance and what that has. He was talking about Tykeus Crawford moving kind of the right side, that right guard, right tackle position. How much are we going to see Tykeus come in and kind of sub in on the offensive line, you think, this year?
Well, I think there'll be substantial time. I think that, you roll a guy in there, you get him time at either one of those positions if he's comfortable there, and apparently he's done really well at learning both those positions. It's a little different when you flop to the other side that you have to change your feet and your steps. Everything's backwards. So it's easier to stay on one side. Now, Dalton said he's full go. He's healthy. He had a procedure on his back that changed everything. That was why he sent out some in the spring. But you can never have enough offensive linemen. You just can't. And to have two right tackles as good as they have, now these are both really top SEC players. Dalton will probably get a look at the NFL. He was such a good run blocker last year and didn't give up much in the pass, his pass protection either. But he was better than probably some of us really understand. That's from talking to Cody Kennedy, which I talked to Dalton 2 weeks ago, and then I talked to Cody last week. Those stuff will be coming out here pretty soon on Hogs Plus. But you're going to see those guys, and I think you're going to see, maybe a second guy at left tackle early on to give Luke Jones some rest.
They're going to be opening up holes from some talented running backs, A.J. Green, Rocket Sanders. But the question is, Dominique Johnson, his status, according to Coach Pittman, is up in the air for Game 1 right now. I know you've been really high on Rashad Dominion. Is it Dubion or Dominion? Did I say it right the first time?
You got it.
Okay.
Either way, he'll when they're a freshman, they answer to anything.
They answer to anything.
I think it's Dominion. That's how I've heard
they
it
say,
said.
"Hey, you over there, 22, you're in."
Yeah.
And
that's all they need, just a little glimmer. But yeah, he's one of those swing and miss type guys. Has good speed. He might not have the speed of Rocket and AJ, but he's got really good speed. And Kendall Browse told me he says he's a difference maker, and he was really a lot better in the spring than they ever suspected. In those scrimmages, he was terrific against their defense, against the ones. And I think that you'll see no hesitation at putting him in. And Dominic will probably be ready here in a game or two. And you're going to need them all. It's just the way it is at running back.
Yeah. Ricky Stromberg's a guy that, we talk so much about KJ Jefferson. We talk about the running backs and who's going to step up. Is it Hazelwood or whatever, wide receiver? I think in a lot of ways, Clay, this offense may go as far as Ricky Stromberg takes that offensive line. He gets them in the pass protections. Him staying healthy is important. Would it be Latham behind him, or who do you think will be the backup center? Because we don't think about that a lot, and I know that's not an interesting conversation always, but we've seen things fall apart on an offense before when your center goes down.
Yeah, he's next up there probably. He's taking snaps. It worked out just fine. I think that he could slide over there. They've got a couple other guys. They've actually, at one time or another over the last 4 months, when you think about spring and then summer, taking snaps with quarterbacks, all of them have snapped it, so that there is some knowledge of what it is to execute a shotgun snap. And I think that but Brady Latham has been through the wars, and he knows what's going on in the middle of that line. He'd be probably the guy I'd go to first.
Yeah, just a little more on Stromberg here, because his toughness up front, but the calls he makes,
all goes together.
Yeah, without him doing his job, it's one of those things that doesn't show up on the stat sheet or the box score, or any of that stuff. But that's what makes it all work up front, and every play starts with him.
They're gonna try to find another one or two, this camp, and I think you'll hear talk about this guy or that. Some of the young ones are going to continue to slide people around. And don't get alarmed if you hear of a lineup that just doesn't make any sense at all. It might be for 2 days. And they're going to expose players to different positions so that when it happens in a game that it's not a surprise.
So let's flip to the other side of the ball, because I think one of the bigger question marks, and Sam Pittman addressed this yesterday, is still defensive line. He says he's confident in those guys, but I think they're, with Torian Carter out there searching for that leader. Is it Isaiah Nichols? Who do you think can be the pass rusher? Because as Sam said yesterday, it doesn't have to come from the edge. We'll take someone up the middle.
Yeah, I think Gregory is the guy that you'll see sack totals move up a little bit. and he's got such great speed. He can play inside, out. They can move him and slide him around and get the matchups they want. I don't know whether he's Trey Williams or not, but he is a guy that when he's been healthy, and he is right now, that he's been terrific, and he's got the size to really go up against a guard or a tackle.
We're talking with Clay Henry this morning here on the Morning Rush. Clay, you mentioned just kind of his, and he's Robinson, right? If I remember that, Robinson High School.
What player are you talking about?
You just mentioned Zach Gregory. I think
Eric
that's
Gregory.
Eric Gregory, not Zach Gregory. Excuse me.
Zach Williams is Joe T.
Okay, then I switched
Eric,
him up.
I believe Eric he's from out of state. Yeah, he's not from Arkansas.
Okay.
But you've got Zach Williams that can rush the passer, and I think he's added size and strength. He does every year. He's bigger. Those two guys are the people that are going to get the snaps the first. But then I think you'll see Landon Jackson and Domodek from Georgia Tech. He's got a little bit of a burst. I'm excited to see what they can get from Dorian Gerald. And I know you just kind of throw him out because he's not been able to play the last couple of years. But he was a guy that everybody was excited about before this last injury, that he'd really made a move in the summer. And I think the same thing has happened, and he's had really a year to get himself ready again, and I think he is. So we'll see. He's 25 years old. He is a great person, and I think everybody on the team pulls for a guy like that.
Cody Walker is a name more recent. Clay, is there another guy that you can think of that just has had such a tumultuous stretch of injuries at Arkansas that finally made it on the field in the latter years of his career that had success?
Well, that'd be one. A guy that that I remember that took a long time to get on the field, and it was this or that, and changing position was Marvin Caston, and that's a name. If you go down to the foundation, you'll see Marvin. You'll never figure that he was anything but an offensive guard by looking at him now. But he's a guy that blossomed in his last year. Didn't play, played defense, moved around, and then boom, had a great year as a fullback. With Danny Nutt coaching him.
I thought this was interesting. This is from one of your former colleagues, Matt Jones at Whole Hog Sports, that Fayetteville High School, Harmon Field's getting renovated, guys. And so they're going to play 2 games inside of Donald W. early on, October 7th and the 21st. So given the opportunity, you got a chance to play, and this is go back to your 20s, you got a chance to play a home game in Donald W., Baum Walker, Bud Walton. Clay, I'll let you hit this one first, then relate it to Tom. And I guess since we're golf guys, you can play a home game at the Blessings, home 18 at the Blessings.
I don't have enough golf balls to play at the Blessings.
Which one are you taking, Clay, of those 4?
The latter would be punishment. Yeah. I've played the Blessings, and it's a beautiful place, and it's groomed perfectly. But I always seem to run out of golf balls about 15 there. So I don't hit it good enough to play that course on a regular basis. Now, Chuck and I played one time on the forward tees, and that wasn't bad. You just hit a 5-wood and just kind of punch it out there. I can find the fairway with my 5-wood. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's I wasn't much of a football player, and so I don't want to pretend like that would be something that I would excel at. I guess probably baseball is what I played the most at. So maybe if I could play catcher in my knees were Mark Powell could get him right, finally. I hope he hears that. I would probably like to play at Baum Walker. Yep.
What about you, Tommy? Which one you choose?
Well, I've always said there's no better atmosphere than a good Bud Walton Arena. So if you're talking about sellout crowd at Bud Walton Arena, I think that's where you'd want to be the star of the show. So, but this will be a neat experience for both teams. You talk about Fayetteville's host. I think they're playing Southside in one game and
Springdale
in the other. And listen, the old, that will be an entry. That's the old rivalry, Fayetteville Springdale. I know Harbor's online, and that's become a game. And I was out there one time when Harbor and Fayetteville Bray Cook was playing back then. I tell you how long ago. I'm going like to 2010 or 11, somewhere in there, and they had an epic finish to a Harbor Fayetteville game. They had like 2 touchdowns return or kickoffs return for touchdown in the last 2 minutes.
Jeez.
3 scores. I mean, there's some epic battles, but this will. I'm getting wordy here, but this will be neat for the Southside players, the Springdale players. The Hootens Classics have had some games there. There's been opportunities. I remember a Springdale Shiloh game when Gus was still coaching that was played there that had a large attendance, 30,000 or so. So I think that's a place, and now that you're on grass, it's probably not as accessible as when it was on the turf. But that's a place that I think I wish they would figure out a way to play more championship games and some things like that when it involved 2 Northwest Arkansas teams, but the logistics have never seemed to work out on that.
Y'all help me on this. Let's think about state champions in the state. Basketball's in Hot Springs. Mm-hmm. Baseball's at Baumwalker. Soccer's at...
Well, they moved that the last couple of years. They've moved that to Conway for
baseball.
So, yeah, because there's been scheduling conflicts. Okay. So baseball
has been Conway. Soccer, at least when I played, was Fayetteville. Mm-hmm. And what's that field called? What's Colby Hill's field called? Is it?
I think it's just Razorback
Field.
Yeah.
Okay, and
that's
then
correct.
Football's played at War Memorial, right?
Mm-hmm. All of them. And all the spring sports used to have them on Fayetteville.
Okay.
That's a recent change in the last few years.
They got to put those state championships in. I guess it's just a conflict.
When there's
right?
been years like when Barry Lunning was coaching and Bentonville would play Fayetteville, or you'd have 2 Northwest Arkansas schools, I always thought the attendance would be far better. But it'll be a neat deal to get to go out there and play.
Yeah.
I've had the privilege of officiating a couple of high school games at Razorback Stadium.
I've snuck in and played on that field.
But, they don't always have all the big video boards on, or at least some of the ones I've been around at. One time we showed up and it was a doubleheader, and I was working the second game of the doubleheader, and I believe it was Shiloh playing somebody. Petrino was still coaching. They didn't have any chains. Because Petrino there's 2 sets for the stadium. Petrino had them both over on the practice field and wouldn't give one up so they could play the football game in the stadium. They started the game for the high school game, guys, without chains.
Dang.
And they used beanbags, the officials' beanbags, to mark the beginning and the end, and someone stood to be the box.
That's wild.
And that's how they rectified it fairly early in the game, but that's the way the game started because Petrino was using both sets of chains in practice.
Fayetteville High School is like a mile from the stadium. Just run over and get them.
I don't think Fayetteville was playing in that game at that moment. But
oh, man. That's crazy.
It was wild.
Clay, let's stay on Fayetteville High School real quick. Isaiah Satania originally committed to A&M, decommitted, commits to Oregon, and then you get him to sign with Arkansas. Here's a guy that has track speed. We sometimes throw out that phrase when it's not actually the case, but he has it, and he's going to compete on the track team as well. You mentioned Marvin Caston being the guy that's like, outside of Cody Walker, that stuck around a little bit, had some injuries, and then had a better year down the stretch. When's the last time you've seen a true freshman wide receiver come in and have an instant impact? And does Satania have the tools to be that for this staff? Yeah,
when you saw those 3 freshmen come in, Jarius Wright, Joe Adams, and I guess Greg Childs was in that group. That group had freshmen that could play as wide receivers, and they wanted to get them on the field and get their progress where they would be contributors for the next few years. So they were a team that really needed a lot of help. So those freshmen played, but I don't know that there's been too many that have any more ability than Satania in that he is apparently ready to play. He likes the big stage. He's played in big games. Carried the load for Fayetteville. I mean, it's just hard to fathom how many yards that he had last year. Is a player that everybody targeted and doubled, and he'd catch it underneath and outrun him in space. He'd get behind him. Tommy, you saw him play, I'm sure.
I watched the championship game. Yeah, I saw him a couple of times, but just watching on TV the championship game that they had with Brian, you just see the speed. And here's the thing. Freshman or speed gives you a chance to get on the field.
Yep.
I don't care if it's at safety or corner or wide receiver or running back. I mean, Clay, you've seen it over the decades. Speed is what will get. That is the great equalizer.
Kills.
You may not know the playbook well enough. You may make some technical mistakes in your footwork or your reads. But if you can run faster than anyone else out there, they're going to find a way to put you in a safe spot and try to get you the ball.
Well, this defense gets the safeties up. So this offense, they're going to run the ball. The safeties will be in the box, at least one of them, and maybe both will be shadowing. it's hard to double, and that's what this offense does to you. And you saw the Texas A&M game where, Burks was out there with that guy all by himself. And when you can take the top off the defense like Isaiah can, watch out.
Yeah.
And I think that Richard Smith was a guy that had that kind of blazing, 4.38, something like that.
Track speed.
Yeah, just really, yeah. I mean,
he was a track guy. Yeah, he was a track guy. So.
Yeah, and there's been a few others.
Yeah.
Jarius Wright and Joe Adams, they had electric speed, and that makes a big difference.
Well,
I mean, those are among the fastest guys on the team, and when they put pads on, it didn't seem to bother them, and I think Isaiah's the same way.
We don't have enough time I want to get into this in the next segment because we got a few more minutes on the other side. Because I think Ty and I have talked about this and kicked it around, how much Traylon Burks helped the running game last year because of the attention he drew. And maybe the reverse of that could be true. If the running game's good enough, maybe it helps the passing.
No question.
I want to get into that a little deeper with you. We only got a couple of minutes, and I think that deserves more than 2 or 3 minutes. So let's couch that and come back to it in a minute, because I think last year the number one rushing attack was clearly helped by Burks. Can the reverse of that be true with what's perceived to be a passing game that's going to need a lift with losing a player like Burks?
Good point. And Burks was a great blocker. Yeah.
Yeah, he got into it. And real quick on the subject of Satania, I want y'all, when we hit a break, or if you have some time later today, watch his senior highlights compared to his junior and sophomore. Now you see the speed jump off the page as a sophomore and junior. You see the ball skills and going up and get 50-50 balls as he's not that big. He's like 6'6'1". Go watch him high point some of the touchdown passes that he had as a senior at Fayetteville High School. He was going to get them sophomore and junior year.
Okay, got a busy day. You're going to have another chance for people to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime. Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith location for Hardee's. So if you can eat one of those third-pound burgers in 90 seconds, you can be our next qualifier for the finals. We're giving away a trip to see the Chiefs and the Titans. That game's in November at Arrowhead. We got tickets, hotel, cash, everything you need to enjoy that weekend. So another chance to qualify between 11 and 1. You can get out and have lunch with Ty today at Hardee's on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Another event I want to tell you about, our friends at Hashtag. I mean, like yesterday we had to get some stuff set up with Chuck's tablets and computers. They were here to help us with that. Anytime we have a need here in the studio or anywhere in our office for, a problem with a computer, Daryl's always on hand. They're having an event today and over in Van Buren for those that are in the River Valley area. If you run a business, own a business, or you just have a computer, cybersecurity is a concern, whether it's malware or just virus protection, any of those things, because, it can shut your business down in a heartbeat. And they're having a kind of a demo day, if you will, starting at 9 this morning at the Crawford County Van Buren Main Library. It's with the Chamber of Commerce in Van Buren. It's a cybersecurity roundtable and information forum, and they can help you get a better night's sleep, so to speak, as a business owner and IT guy. So if you can slip by over in Van Buren, I just wanted to pass that along today, 9 a.m., for their cybersecurity roundtable. And you can learn more from experts about keeping your computers and your network safe and keep all that malware and ransomware out.
We'll talk more with this running game and what Malik Hornsby is going to factor into it. You'll be surprised what Sam Pittman had to say about Malik yesterday.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Hey, this is Billy Ray Smith Jr., and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
How much life can you fit in a 2022 Toyota RAV4?
Hon, can you grab me a swan float? They're in the RAV4.
The pink one or the yellow one?
How about 69.8 cubic feet for inflatable fun?
Want me to put the address in the RAV4's GPS?
No. I know exactly where yeah.
Thought so.
Up to 40 miles of uncharted terrain per gallon.
Get in the RAV4. Get in the RAV4. I did not expect mountain lions out here.
That's a cat.
But it's big though, right?
Yeah, big kitty.
That's 37.7 inches of headroom for tall tales.
Hey, pull into that taco stand here. I'm starving. I'm grabbing 2 number 4s.
And grab 2 for me.
And 2 to 4 number 4s for the largest appetites. The numbers add up. It's amazing how much life you can fit in a 2022 Toyota RAV4. Visit your local dealer or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability. EPA estimated 41 city, 38 highway, 40 combined MPG for 2022 RAV4 XSE hybrid.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
Are you looking for a career that is in demand and will provide you and your family the living you all deserve? Are you willing to put in the time to learn that profession? If the answer is yes, you need to contact United Welding Institute today. Welders are in demand in-state and across the country for many different types of welding. United Welding Institute has recently placed students from the River Valley with very high-paying employers, and they want to do the same for you. Call today and make an appointment for your future. 479-968-3390. That's 479-968-3390 for United Welding Institute in Pottsville, and tell them you heard it on ESPN Arkansas.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith, where it's happy hour all day, every day. Stop by anytime and try our $4 cocktails. Choose from a Bloody Mary, Cape Cod, Tequila Sunrise, Whiskey Sour, and more. There's also $5 glasses of wine, and Miller Lite 12-ounce drafts are always just $2. Get to TGI Fridays for lunch Monday through Friday for our $9.99 burger deal, available until 3 p.m. and comes with fries and a soft drink, tea, or Miller Lite draft. Order online for pickup at Fridays.com.
Arkansas Valley Electric members living in Knoxville and Augsburg and surrounding areas, you can now sign up. Wave Rural Connect Internet is available for you. Fast fiber internet, TV, and even phone service. Internet starting at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone for $29.95. Sign up now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity. Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Every time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Corral, play fake and a roll to his right. Fires and it's picked off. Catalon at the 35. Oh my goodness, he's going to score. Touchdown, Arkansas. Catalon.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
All right, Clay Henry's still back with us on the Morning Rush, talking about this rushing attack. I know, Tommy, that's something you were peculiar about and wanted to get into in just a sec.
Yeah, I want to remind everyone, if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, the Majestic has got another great lineup. I know the Peacemaker was last weekend, but Ty, the live music in downtown Fort Smith doesn't stop.
Yeah, it keeps on going. Check it out, majesticfortsmith.com if you're interested ever in what the concert lineup looks like. It's at 817 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. You're going to want to check that out. For this weekend, you've got Aaron Enderlin and Chris Canterbury, and then the Velcro Pygmies as well. Again, majesticfortsmith.com. Music, mixers, and memories at the Majestic in downtown Fort Smith.
I want to get to Robert's call, and Robert's called in from Fayetteville. I'll get to that in a minute. But, Clay, we were talking about this before the break, and I want to dive into it a little deeper. Number one rushing team in America last year in Power 5 football was the Arkansas Razorbacks. You can't help but, it doesn't take a lot of football acumen to realize that Traylon Burks and the attention he drew from the defenses helps that. What would a good rushing attack and those three backs and K.J. Jefferson running the ball, who may run it for close to 1,000 this year, what will that do to develop this passing attack? It seems to me like it could work in reverse this year.
Well, if you're going to take something away, you take away what you think they do best. And that is, without question, you laid it out, they can run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And the RPO game, though, is part of how they run the ball. And it's taking advantage of what the defense gives you. And if they want to take the run away, I think that they have got the weapons at receiver to make you pay. They may not have a Burks, but I think they really, from what I understand, have come a long ways this summer with the timing. But that's what people are going to do. Now, Cincinnati did not do that with Alabama in the playoff game. They played two deep safeties, never came up, and Alabama ran it down their throats for the whole game. They were gashing them for 5 and 7 on every play. But I think that the fear of those wide receivers that Alabama had caused that alignment. They weren't going to give up anything over the top. Well, Alabama just ran the clock out on them. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't think that's how they'll play Arkansas. I think they will bring safeties up. That's the way I would play Arkansas.
Dare you to throw it, and where
and I think they will be able to throw it.
Where is K.J. Jefferson most accurate? It's kind of uncanny. He's better with the deep ball, right? Well, that's what we saw last year.
I think he was just awesome with the deep ball,
but
he was okay everywhere else.
Yeah.
It wasn't like. You look at his completion percentage; it's way up there. It is just that it didn't slip on the deep throws. And it wasn't just Burks going and getting it. He has some other guys that could catch the deep ball. Warren Thompson had some big plays last year.
Yep.
But they've got to prove that they can hurt you with the passing game, and I know that's what they've spent the summer working on.
Yeah. Let's go to Robert in Fayetteville, who's been waiting with us this morning. Robert, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. So this is going to be going backwards here for a few minutes of what y'all were talking about just a few minutes ago. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
So somebody be with me there. When I first moved up here back in 92, 93, Clay, you were around. Didn't Fayetteville High play their games in Razorback Stadium? Because I remember I was working with Irwin, and I used to have to go cover
Way
Friday
back
night
they
football.
did. Yep.
Well, now, was that because they were building the new stadium, or is it because they just traditionally had always played their games?
I think it's because Harmon Field wasn't. I think Harmon Field hadn't been. Harmon Field's been renovated a couple times since then. On the home side, I think it was because there was games that couldn't hold the crowd. If I remember back now, we're going back to my high school days, and I remember broadcasting a Fort Smith Southside game from that stadium, and I think it was a simple capacity issue because they just didn't have the room at Harmon Field.
Oh, you may be right. I didn't cover a whole lot of games back then, I just remember there were 2 or 3 that I had to cover for Fayetteville, and they were in Razorback Stadium, and I just thought that was fantastic that a high school could get to play with Razorbacks play. But the side story here real quick. You're talking about speed on the field, and Clay, you remember Joe Lee Dunn? I think it was Joe Lee Dunn that said this to me one time. We were standing there on the practice field, and I made the comment to I think it was Joe Lee. I may be wrong. It may have been a different defensive coordinator. Their secondary was going to be really good because they had a whole lot of speed back there in the backfield. And he said, what makes you think that? I said, well, you got guys that can cover other guys. He goes, yeah, sometimes speed just means they get to the wrong place before everybody else. I don't remember Joe Lee Dunn enough.
Joe Lee was as good as there was. Yep. I mean,
yes,
we didn't get to see him for very long, but his August practices, they called it the Packer days, and they would do up, downs, and running until the cows came home. And, I mean, literally, he put that team in shape. I don't care what they did in the summer. They weren't ready for Packer days. And he got it from Vince Lombardi. Fatigue makes cowards of us all. Well, they weren't going to be fatigued if you played for Joe Lee Dunn.
And they're going to get in shape here. We were looking at the schedule. It may change. They're going to be practicing at the hottest times of the day, so we'll talk about that. Clay, you going to hang around or you got to run?
I'm okay for a little while longer.
Okay, well, we don't have much longer. So one more segment. We got our SEC update on the way. Hey, we're brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels RV. So, hey, if you want to relax in style, you want to camp in style, you want to see places you've never seen before, get by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
When we come back, we'll get into our SEC update, including something just outrageously stupid that Nick Saban said yesterday.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here and hitthatline.com.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design. The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fenceman team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fenceman. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fenceman is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's Wimbledon Finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait, Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe can get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Time. Every time.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV? What? Oh, no way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Ask Phil Hicks in Greenwood about Shelter's home insurance.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Carco Auto Sales takes great pride in serving Fort Smith, the River Valley, and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years, offering a variety of quality, late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. The friendly and knowledgeable staff can help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Carco Auto Sales will purchase your vehicle as well. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. Check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
So every once in a while, Nick Saban just says some outrageous garbage that he gets away with because it's Nick Saban. Well, here's what he had to say on McElroy and Kublik on WJOX yesterday. He said last year was a rebuilding year for this football team. Guys, Alabama won 13 games. They the Heisman Trophy winner. They won their division, won their conference. Now, their wide receiver, Jamison Williams, didn't win the Blitnikoff, but he might as well have because he was one of maybe top 3 wide receivers in all of college football. But he considers last year a rebuilding year. They made the championship for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Any thoughts on that? I think it's
he's focusing. I would think he's focusing on something that we're not focusing on when he thinks about rebuilding. He may be thinking about staff. He may be thinking about doing something in recruiting. We just see the result on the field and think that's outlandish. But Clay, I imagine he's thinking about something else within his program and his little fiefdom there that he was more focused on maybe.
Yeah, I think they played a lot of young players, and we sometimes confuse, if you're a 5-star, well then you're not rebuilding, you're just reloading, and that's what I would characterize what Alabama was last year as reloading, especially at quarterback. And when you think that how little he had played and how good he played, and that masked, when your quarterback hasn't played and he wins the Heisman Trophy, that's incredible. Now, that's where he thought they were rebuilding, but he had the best receivers in the country, didn't he? I mean, when the really top-notch player at Cincinnati that won the Blitnikoff and went to USC, right?
Yeah, Jordan Addison out of Pitt.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
he was singularly better with his numbers, but they spread it out more at Alabama, so you didn't really have to see that. But I think the receivers that they had at Alabama were the best in the country.
Yeah, John Mechie and Jamison Williams, and then old third down Slade Bolden. It's hard to pick out a better. And the only one I would say, the only three I would say better than that, Clay, is up top in Columbus, Ohio, where Garrett Wilson,
they were good,
Jackson Smith and Jigma, and then Chris Olave. Two of those guys went first round in the NFL.
They didn't play in the SEC.
And that's true.
That's all I'll say. Yeah, they played against some slow defenses. That's my opinion, and I think that's the difference. But they're all good. Those are good wide receivers groups. But I mean, Bryce Young, that changes everything. When he was just off the charts. Mm-hmm. In the clutch, you would never think you'd have anybody better, right? He's better than Namath, Stabler, all those guys.
It was nice when Alabama just had a game manager at quarterback, Tommy, and now they're throwing out Tua and Mac and Jalen and now this guy. So it's changed it up a little bit. Let's stay within Tuscaloosa for a sec. So that's kind of dumb news. I have some kind of somber, sad news to share with you. Eli Gold is not going to be doing Alabama football games this year. They're going to have Chris Stewart, who does their basketball and baseball and does pre- and post-game stuff.
He's really good.
Yeah, and I actually got a chance. I was listening to him. So they had the Alabama players passing us at Radio Road SEC Media Days, and I actually listened to a conversation that Chris had with, I think it was Bryce, if I remember that right. But this is it's a big deal. Eli Gold's kind of like, I mean, we know Rod Bramblett unfortunately just passed away for Auburn, I guess 2 years ago or a year ago, whatever it was. Eli's in that same category of elite SEC broad. Mick Huber just retired from Florida. He's in that elite category, and people know that voice as soon as they hear it.
I believe he started in '92. I know he did the '92 season when Gene Stallings' club won the national title, but it's one of the bigger jobs in all of sports is when you're the voice of a championship program. And they had some of their lulls in there, but your lore, your connection with your fan base, all of these are furthered when your program's winning championships. And Eli Gold is known also for his work with NASCAR and the Craftsman Truck Series. He's been around in baseball for a long time. Scott Tabor could tell you some stories because, Clay, he was the voice of the AAA, was it the Birmingham Barons that Tabor
correct.
played for? He did their radio, and Tabor's got some funny stories. I hate to see Eli's health slipping, but I know he's going to be away this year, and hopefully at some point his health will improve and he can return.
Yeah, I've listened to him an awful lot. Traveling through the SEC, Alabama might have the late game, and I'm done working, so I've got my satellite radio and find the Alabama broadcast and bouncing around from different broadcasts. And you knew immediately when you had Alabama because of the signature lines of Eli Gold. And he is the voice of NASCAR, and that's the part of the charm that he has with all schools in the South, because there's NASCAR fans that are Auburn fans that they like Eli Gold, but only when he's doing NASCAR.
Somewhere in my collection of things, me and Taylor and Laura went to Kansas City. It would have been 2004, 2005. I just started this job here at ESPN Radio. And the Royals invited us up. We were an affiliate. They invited me up and a guy named Jim Buckles was running the affiliate relations. So he takes us on a stadium tour. I mean, and
that's kind of sick.
We got a 100,000-watt station. They want us to carry. We're carrying like 26 games a year. This was a sales pitch. Yeah. I mean, Taylor got every promotional item they had given away that whole year: backpack, teddy bear, baseball, bat, helmet. We were sitting in the dugout. I mean, they were rolling out the red carpet. Well, there was another guy on the tour with us, and I said, "This guy looks familiar." Then he started talking. I said, "He sounds familiar." I said, "I got to look." We had run the Craftsman Truck Series and NASCAR. It was Eli Gold. He knew the guy named Jim Buckles who was running the tour because they'd worked together on some NASCAR stuff. So,
how about that?
So I've got a picture somewhere in my collection of things of me and then Taylor when she was about 6 or 7 years old and Eli Gold at Kauffman Stadium.
All right, I want each of you, Tommy, you hit it first. Clay goes second. I'll go third. Give me your best Eli Gold touchdown Alabama impersonation.
He's got a unique touchdown Alabama.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Clay?
It won't be a touchdown, but it is the the Alabama defense is very, 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 very good.
All right, let me see.
That was allegedly maybe edited in post-production.
Touchdown,
throw some berries in
Alabama!
there.
I can't
Yeah.
see. Yours was better.
I'm sorry, Ty.
You're good, man.
Do it again.
You don't want to hear that again. I think Tommy actually did a pretty.
Yeah, I believe he's his
Jersey?
roots are in. No, I think they're in New York. I think he
Okay.
grew up in the Bronx or one of the boroughs up there. And there's a guy
correct.
named Chris Carlin who's on ESPN Radio, and you hear him often filling in for Greeny. To me, those two almost sound alike. But that's where Eli's roots are is the streets of New York City.
So we got.
So my brother Butch was director of Crimson Tide Sports Marketing for 9 years, which part of that duties is to manage the radio broadcast in the coaches' shows. And so he worked really closely with Eli. And he said, my job was to make sure Eli, and then Ken Stabler was doing the color. And they had to send a limo to Gulf Shores or wherever it is down there, Foley, that Stabler lived, and because he couldn't drive. I mean, you can figure out why he couldn't drive. But
why might that be?
He said, I had one headache and one joy. And, Eli was always going to be there, but they had to send a limo for Stabler.
Is he drunk?
There was an old story about Stabler when he played for the Raiders that the team was having breakfast, and he was in his cowboy boots and blue jeans, and he was down there, one of the first players in line, and he wasn't known for that. And someone just quipped to him and said, Snake, you're here awful early, or you got up awful early this morning. He goes, get up, I'm just rolling in.
Just rolling in, baby.
Jeez. Man.
Yep.
That's
He'd been out all night, and game time was 5 hours away or whatever.
So we got a New Yorker calling Alabama football,
Yep.
and as Phil likes to describe himself as a Yinzer calling Arkansas baseball. Who would have thought?
Yep. I mean, but hopefully he's back. 'Cause I think he is one of the great voices. If you watch that SEC documentary on the voices, which Paul Ills did not get enough time or love in that, but
God, I love when they.
But there were some great stories, of the guys that really, in an age that's gone when very few games were televised, and your connection to the game in many, many ways was who was behind that microphone doing the radio broadcast.
So let's think.
It's still that way in to a great detail, but not nearly like it was, Clay, when you were growing up and Bud Campbell was behind the microphone, and then Paul Eels. There was
Paul was what, 82, 84? When did he come?
Oh, mid-70s. Was 75 or
okay.
75 or 6, wasn't it, Clay?
Yeah. So my brother Butch was associate senior AD when they were hiring Paul, and he and Rick Schaefer, who was Butch's assistant, went over the tapes, and they took only one in to Coach Broyles, and that was Paul Eels. And Coach Broyles listened to about a minute of it, and he goes, "That guy's great. Get him."
Yeah, he was doing Vanderbilt at the time.
That was right. Yeah, he was doing, I believe, the ABC affiliate in Nashville, and Pat Sajak was the weatherman.
Yeah, I've talked to Joe Fisher. He used to be a part of Vanderbilt's broadcast, and we had a great conversation about the late Paul Eels. That's going to do it for your SEC update this morning, brought to you by Ashley Air.
Yeah, if you need a plumber, Ashley Air is the only one to call. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling needs can take care of your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning with a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Some restrictions apply. If you got clogged drains or leaky faucets, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service today. That's AshleyAir.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
This headline's nuts. A Georgia man called in a bomb threat to avoid work, and he had to pay $40,000 in restitution penalties. What is the dumbest thing that y'all have done?
Sounded like a good idea at the time, didn't it?
Yeah, to avoid work or school. I always think about the Ferris Bueller opening scene clip where he does all the hijacking stuff to stay home from school. I put a corn bag. Y'all know what a corn bag is? It's a stitched piece of material that's got corn in it. You warm it up in the microwave, and you keep it on your feet at night when you're cold. I've done that and put it on my forehead when I was in middle school, and I convinced my parents I had a fever, so I got to stay home. Didn't do that much, just did once.
Yeah.
But that's what I've done to avoid school. I've made myself throw up, and took a picture of it and sent it into work, so I didn't have to go to work one day. Those are the two things I've done.
Now you
I've
can
never
just
called
Google that picture. You have to do it,
I
right?
know. I don't have to call in a bomb threat.
What'd you do back in the day?
I would not trust him at all, Tommy.
Yeah, I know it. Good thing he doesn't miss work very often.
He just gave you the scouting report.
Oh, I know it.
Listen, all men, they change their stripes, and I changed mine.
No, they don't.
Since I have been here at ESPN Arkansas, I have not missed one sick day. I've come in with black eyes, pink eyes, who knows what else. But I haven't missed a day in 4 years for being sick. Taking
you
vacation.
Can be sick anytime you want to, and it'll help the show.
That's probably right, honestly.
I really missed you Tuesday morning, Ty, by the way.
I don't think you did, honestly. I think you
I
enjoyed
missed
yourself.
Tommy.
You probably missed Tommy. Fly Shop.
Drew and Matty T. I mean, I missed those guys.
The Fly Shop needed you much more on Tuesday morning than
I tied
than
a
we
lot
did.
of flies.
I bet
You'll
you
be here
did.
Thursdays with us. We're looking forward to that. It'd be fun, day before, not the day before, 2 days before the game. So it'd be fun.
We'll add that setup. Again, 30 days out from Cincinnati. We're less than a month away. For Tommy Kraft, Drew Bear, and Clay Henry, I'm Ty Richardson. Get ready for a good Football Friday.
How much life can you fit in a 2022 Toyota RAV4?
Hun, can you grab me a Swan float? They're in the RAV4.
The pink one or the yellow one?
How about 69.8 cubic feet for inflatable fun?
Want me to put the address in the RAV4's GPS?
No. I know exactly where yeah.
Thought so.
Up to 40 miles of uncharted terrain per gallon.
Get in the RAV4. Get in the RAV4. I did not expect mountain lions out here.
That's a cat.
But it's big though, right?
Yeah, big kitty.
That's 37.7 inches of headroom for tall tales.
Hey, pull into that taco stand here. I'm starving. I'm grabbing 2 number 4s.
And grab 2 for me.
And 2 to 4 number 4s for the largest appetites. The numbers add up. It's amazing how much life you can fit in a 2022 Toyota RAV4. Visit your local dealer or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability. EPA estimated 41 city, 38 highway, 40 combined MPG for 2022 RAV4 XSE hybrid.
Do you need financial support for your vision?